What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. Become Hokage at the age of 8. 1BH. Chapter 1 The Strongest Relationship Household is Born. Advertisement. Konoha 10 years. Hefeng sat on the balcony on the second floor, looking down at the bustling flow of people on the street. He is a traverser, and now this body is just 7 years old. It's been just a year since I came to the world of Naruto. Both parents are ordinary people who did not appear in the anime. Not even a surname. My father is a carpenter, and my mother was pregnant with another child 4 months ago. I don't know if it is a younger brother or younger sister. He has no blood limit, and he has never attended a ninja school. After all, it is Konoha's 10 years, and the concept of ninja school may not have been brought up. If there is no accident, he should inherit his father's carpenter career and spend an ordinary life in this world. Do not. Ninja World War I, World War II, and World War III did not come. Even if you want to live an ordinary life, it is not an easy task. Boom boom. Just as Hefeng felt this incident again in his heart, there was a knock on the door. Please come in, Hefeng said politely, and his gaze shifted from the street to the door. The wooden door was gently pushed open. The person greeted as his father, Kuma. Gentle breeze, pack your luggage. Mu Jian went straight to the subject, we are leaving here. Moving, Hefeng asked subconsciously. He has only been in this world for 1 year, but he has no memory of his predecessor. Based on occasional chats with his parents, he infers that he has stayed in this place for 2 years. Although this is only a small country, there are no ninjas, and the security is the responsibility of the samurai. But the basic living conditions have been satisfied, not to mention how happy life is, there is no inconvenience, and Mujian's income has been increasing, and his reputation has grown. Anyone in the village who needs a carpenter will basically find him. But once you move, it means everything has to start again. Why? Hefeng couldn't help asking, he really couldn't understand Mujian's brain circuit. Mujian looked at his son, and felt that he was more mature and stable than a year ago, and he was not playful anymore. About a year ago, he drowned while swimming in the sea. Although he was rescued, he had no vital signs. But who knows, he has come back to life, but he has lost his previous memories, and he doesn't even know who he is. However, in the following year, Hefeng was very sensible, but occasionally sighed. Advertisement. Mu Jian hasn't said anything about the family. But now, I just received a letter from my hometown. Your grandpa has a terminal illness. Your second grandpa hopes that we can go back to the village. Mu Jian explained. It is not difficult to see from the words that Mu Jian's mood at this time is a bit heavy. Grandfather. Terminal illness. For this grandpa who suddenly appeared, Hefeng had never thought of it. But since everyone is terminally ill, it is understandable to go back and have a look. Of course, Hefeng was originally a traverser, and it was the first time I heard of a grandpa. His mood is naturally calm. After all, there is no relationship between grandparents and grandchildren. What does grandpa do? Is it also a carpenter? Hefeng asked casually. Throughout this year, Hefeng has basically confirmed that he has no blood, no background, and no opportunities. Basically there are no personnel. Although it is not appropriate to think this way, if the grandfather who suffers from despair has a fortune, it is also a good thing to let yourself experience the feeling of rich 3 generations. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Moreover, the protagonist is told that his dying grandpa is a millionaire. Isn't it also a standard routine in film and television dramas? Of course not, although I became a carpenter because of your grandpa's influence. Well, if you insist, your grandpa should be the head of a village. Although it is always suppressed by your powerful second grandpa. Mu Jian paused for a while, thinking that Hefeng should know his grandfather's name in advance, otherwise, what a blow it would be to a terminally ill person. By the way, your grandpa's name is Senjuzuma. However, when Kima said the full name Senjuzuma, the breeze stood blankly on the spot for an instant. What? Thousands of hands. Between the pillars. The one who said, Kyubi, your strength is too strong. The Senjuan who pinched Kyubi in his hand. In order to prove his sincerity to Madara, he had to stab himself with kunai, and his granddaughter couldn't even stab him to death. The one who overturned all the tail beasts and calmed down the entire ninja world with his own power, and was called the god of ninjas. You tell me that he is my grandfather. Wait a minute, you are talking about that, who created the era of ninjas and became the first Hokage in Konoha village. Is that my grandfather? Hefeng's eyes widened suddenly, and the corners of his mouth opened into a big, O, shape. Seeing the shocked breeze, Mu Jian felt relieved. It's great that you still remember your grandfather. Advertisement. After all, because of the traversal, the buff of amnesia was caused by the wind and the wind. Now Mujian was almost moved to cry. But anyway, a grandpa suddenly appeared, who was almost the pinnacle of combat power in this world. Let the breeze's brain feel chaotic. And many more. This means, I am actually a prominent traveler in the family. Konoha's first generation of Naruto, the god of ninjas, the man who rubbed Uchiha Madara on the ground several times, is my grandfather. The second generation of Konoha Hokage invented a series of forbidden techniques, the 8-kissed serpent, the reincarnated filthy earth, the multiplication detonation talisman, the ninjutsu god of the multi-shadow avatar, is my second grandfather. The woman who is proficient in King Kong's blockade and shut 9 tails in her stomach is my grandmother. And the wind rolled his throat. My unborn sister, in fact, invented the technique of 100 heroes, and became Tsunade of the 5th generation of Hokage. Good guys. The gentle breeze is a good guy directly. Of Konoha's 7 Hokage, 3 are related to him. This is simply the strongest household. However, he never thought of it. Just when he finally digested the message that Senjuju was his grandfather. Suddenly a reminder of successful binding sounded in his mind. Congratulations to the host for binding the punch-in system. Get a punch card opportunity. According to the prompt, every time you check in, you will get a reward package. Tailed Beast Chakra, Blood Succession Limits, Ninjutsu, etc. All can be obtained from the reward package. Konoha's strongest relationship households add cheat cards. This is properly the protagonist's fate. This sudden news is too exaggerated. The grandson of the pillars, don't you set yourself a 20-year-old to replace Sarutobi Hitoshi as a small goal for the 3rd generation of Hokage. The corner of Hefeng's mouth slowly rose, and he began to prepare to pack his luggage and return to Konoha. But before that, system, start punching in for the first time. Chapter 2 Am I Still a European King? Advertisement. Before the age of 20, replacing Sarutobi Hizuki as the 3rd generation of Hokage is not about kinky. As a traverser, he is very clear about the future plot direction. Although Senjuama is the god of ninjas, he has a terminal illness. As soon as he was a guest, the other ninja villages that were suppressed suddenly showed their ambitions, leading to the First Ninja War. And at the end of the First World War, Shinshojian sacrificed in order to prevent the Golden Horn and the Silver Horn from pursuing. It was at that time that Phaegian assessed the Sarutobi Hizen and others. The first person who was willing to stay behind was named the 3rd generation of Hokage. Now that he has become Konoha's strongest relationship, what can it be difficult to get into the elite class? As long as that time is faster than Sarutobi. He is the 3rd generation of Hokage. This is also the truth that Hefeng suddenly dared to set Hokage as a small target. But before that, system, make the first punch card. Hefeng started to pack his luggage. In fact, he took a few fitting clothes and punched his card in his mind. As soon as the words of the gentle breeze murmured in my heart, a pleasant voice rang in my ears. Check in successfully. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to the host, get the first check-in package. Close black lens bracket. Is it on? Close black lens bracket. Yes. Hefeng maintained his expressionless composure. The gift package is open. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to the host, draw the chakra between the pillars. From the gift package. When the wind heard the chakra between the pillars, the brain only felt a buzzing sound. Anyone who knows Hokage a little knows it. Only other people's chakras are called chakras. On the other hand, among the Chinshujujian, it is written as chakra, which is pronounced as Chanla. Neither Uchiha Madara nor Kyuubi have beaten the poll on chakra. The true god of ninjas. Well deserved. However, for such a good thing, he successfully won the first time he punched in. This makes Hefeng inevitably begin to suspect that his personal design is actually the strongest household plus super European emperor. This is too bad. You know, how many people can't even get an SSR? Call. The gentle breeze took a deep breath, and felt that the chakra in the body suddenly began to increase and strengthen. Like a warm current, it spread all over his body. Advertisement. From small to large, Breeze has never felt like it is now. Physical and mental pleasure. At the same time, a basic memory also slowly poured into his mind. How to extract chakras. How to convert chakras into air currents and release them. And how to precisely control the chakra. All become part of the Japanese-style memory. Let his understanding and application of chakra become as simple as breathing and drinking water. Just like, this chakra is born with it, so you can use it at will. But at this moment, Hefeng discovered that there was a property panel in his mind. It was the same as some novels he had read before crossing. Host. Hefeng. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket power. 3 close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket speed. 2 close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket physical strength. 5 close black lens bracket. Ability. Chakra between the columns LV1. Close black lens bracket. Looking up and down with the breeze, although he controls the chakra between the pillars, other attributes are still very weak. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi, but this is also reasonable. In any case, his current body is only 7 years old. I'm still a child and haven't been exposed to systematic exercise. Furthermore, the world of Naruto has always been high offense and low defense. Baman-kai can distort space with one punch, but it can also be killed by kunai. Even if there are chakras between pillars now, people who can crush me still exist. However, all of this is the beginning, strengthen physical exercise, and then have the blessing of the punch card gift package. I believe that I will become a strong man in the future and control my own destiny. Hefeng is not always a person who is afraid of gains and losses. If you are just an ordinary person, forget it. Now there is a combination of the strongest relationship and the cheat card. He was naturally unwilling to follow Highway's layout. In this way, Hefeng packed up and saluted, and returned to the village of Konoha with his father, Kuma. A few days later, Konoha is still in the development stage, far from being as spectacular as the official plot. Naruto Rock is also slowly being carved. Upon hearing the news that Hefeng's family had returned to the village, Zujian and Shujian also put aside their work and came to Hefeng's home together. Whenever he saw the gentle breeze, Zhu Jian couldn't care about his own image, and showed a warm hug to hug him firmly. Except for a bit of amusement, Hefeng couldn't see any despair between the pillars. It's okay if you come back. The expression on the face was a little paralyzed. Advertisement. He actually cares about the eldest brother Zujian, and he also values his family. But his childhood experience has contributed to his current character, and he is not very good at expressing his emotions in this area. Moreover, although the pillars are nominally Hokage, they have no matching means. In addition, he is now suffering from a terminal illness, and all the affairs in the village are basically taken care of in time. After a conversation, the conversation suddenly changed. You can get along well with your eldest brother, I have something to deal with. It's the actual combat training of Sun Slash, right? It's not bad this day, right? Let's leave after eating. Seeing this, Zhu Jian tried to keep the door. It feels like everyone hasn't eaten together for a long time. Call Mito in a while. Ah, daughter-in-law, there are boys and girls in your belly. Zhu Jian did not conceal his excitement in the slightest, showing off his image as a retired cadre. On the contrary, he sighed helplessly. The eldest brother has a terminal illness, which means that the village's combat power has declined. Cultivating new forces is urgent. Sometimes I really don't know who is Hokage. Of course, these words are just thinking in my heart, and there is no intention to destroy the atmosphere. Can you let me also participate in training? However, what everyone didn't expect was that Hefeng broke free from the arms between the pillars and offered to take the initiative. After all, Shijian just mentioned Sun Slash. If you guessed it correctly, the people who participated in the actual combat training this time should be the future Konoha seniors. And you can exercise. In Hefeng's view, this is simply killing two birds with one stone. Not only can you exercise, but you can also mingle with Konoha who hasn't grown up. The Rune looked up and down the breeze. For his grandson, the eldest brother, he has liked it since he was young. Feijian's thinking has not come out of the Warring States period at all, and he still believes that ninjas should be cultivated from an early age. It was just because of the atmosphere at the scene that he didn't say anything. Are you sure? The actual combat training this time is for survival in the wild. It is possible to be injured or even killed at any time. But Hefeng's determined eyes made Feijian feel that he was different from ordinary children, but he still wanted him to dispel this idea. The training location this time is in the Death Forest. It's not a 7-year-old kid who has the courage to participate. Of course, Hefeng said lightly, not taking the warning in the interim is the same thing. On the one hand, the people who are acting together this time are all the future Konoha seniors, so they can paddle by themselves. On the other hand, Hefeng also wants to test how strong his chakra is. Ha ha ha. The Zujian on the side suddenly laughed. As expected, I am the grandson of Shinsho Zujian, who is so bold. In the interim, do you want to bet? My grandson will definitely become a better Hokage than me in the future. Chapter 3 Feijian. I was shocked on the spot. Advertisement. Hefeng's request surprised Jian, but it also made Zujian very admired for such a courage. But no matter how you say it, Mu Jian and his wife Ayako still don't support Hefeng to participate in any field survival training. As a result, their family had just returned to the village not long ago. Secondly, he is only 7 years old now, and he is clearly still a child. What does this have to do with it? There is a time, and nothing can go wrong. The pillars smiled and patted his thighs. The ninjas who participated in this training were all disciples of the door, and their abilities were outstanding. And the location of their training is the Death Forest. I've been to that place myself, and none of the fierce beasts in it combined are as powerful as a tail beast. The most important is, Feijian's perception ability is not only extremely strong, but also a time-space ninjutsu like Flying Thunder God. In case the piece is really dangerous, you can get to the scene with just one breath. I saw that the two elders of Zujian and Feijian were so packed, and Hefeng was also very interested in training. Hima and Ayako were finally forced to agree. 10 minutes later. Brought a gentle breeze to the entrance of the Death Forest. Sarutobi Hizen and others have been waiting here for a long time. So young. Hefeng saw these people from far away. These future Konoha executives are all 17 or 18 years old now. Even Danzo has a handsome face. And turning to bed, Xiaochun, I didn't expect that she would look pretty when she was young. Soon, Hefeng Kazuoma stopped walking together. He is Hefeng, the grandson of the original Hokage. Feijian introduced Hefeng's identity with a serious face. The reason for this is to remind my disciples to take good care of the breeze during training. This time he will participate in the field survival training with you. As soon as this remark came out, the audience was in an uproar. Sarutobi Hizen, Shimura Danzo, the faces of these future boss-level figures were full of shock. It's not that they didn't know that Lord Zujian had a grandson, but they never expected that the 7-year-old Hefeng would train with them. This is too incredible. I'm afraid this child was lured here by intimidation. After all, in the cognition of Master Feijian, ninjas should be cultivated from an early age. It seems that being born famous is not a good thing. Advertisement. Hello, I am Sarutobi Hizen. Shimura Danzo. Hello kid, I am from the Uchiha clan, you can call me Amir. Turn to bed, Xiaochun. Ah, just call me Yan. Looking at the future Konoha executives introduced themselves one by one. Ah, is this the treatment of the strongest relationship households? Hello, my name is Hefeng. Kazuka asked why he and Tsunade didn't inherit the surname Senju on the way back to the village. It is said that the pillars want to completely eliminate the estrangement and downplay the concept of family, thereby encouraging the Chinsho clan to marry foreigners and asking them to abandon the Chinsho surname. I have to say that the idea of the concept of fusion between the pillars is good, but not everyone has responded to his call. Master Phaegian, is it really okay to let Hefeng participate in this training? Sarutobi Hattori couldn't help but feel a little worried. After all, this is the grandson of Master Zujian. Ninja, as long as you follow the rules, you don't need to ask unnecessary things. Phaegian emphasized to everyone. However, before officially entering the Death Forest, he still reminded Zefeng. After all, you haven't been exposed to systematic training, and your physical fitness is not as good as that of Sun Slash. If you don't think it works, just open this scroll. While talking, he threw a scroll directly to Hefeng. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. For those who are proficient in time and space ninjutsu, it is not difficult to put a reverse spiritism in the scroll. As soon as Hefeng opens the scroll, a ninja will appear from it and bring him out of the dead forest. Although Hefeng's behavior is very brave, after all, there is a death forest in front of him. As the grandson of the eldest brother, it is normal to have some special treatment. Of course, the pillar room did not require such an arrangement in the door room. At the same time, he repeatedly confirmed the chakra attributes of the gentle breeze through his perception ability. As for these field survival training, it's actually easy to understand. It is a 10-day survival exercise in the dead forest. No food or drinking water is allowed. All problems need to be solved by themselves. You can hunt or gather. However, there are countless wild beasts in the death forest, and they have a strong desire to attack. Whether to choose a head-on contest, or to retreat to save strength. It will be up to them to judge. If you rush to the tower in the central area within 10 days, you will be qualified. If there are no other problems, then the training officially begins. Advertisement. With an order from the door, Sarutobi Hitoshi took the lead and rushed into the death forest. At the same time, he secretly vowed in his heart that he would protect the grandson of Lord Zujian no matter what. Hefeng kept up with the team silently and was full of expectations for survival in the wild this time. After seeing no one's back, he fetched a crystal ball from his arms. As his hands became imprinted, a gentle figure began to appear on it. It is the art of telescope. 90% of the ninjutsu in Konoha was invented in no time. But no matter how you say it, Phaegian is not optimistic about Hefeng's action. I'm afraid it won't be long before he will give up on his own initiative. As soon as he entered the death forest, the breeze was obviously struggling in speed. In order to ensure that he will not fall behind, turn to sleep, Xiaochun and Mito Menyan deliberately slowed down, watching the surrounding movement behind Hefeng. However, what I didn't think of was, at first, the wind was really not suitable for this kind of ninja speed, even a ninja could not run, and the posture used swinging arms. But after 5 minutes, the wind's breathing began to become smoother, and the speed increased. Xiaochun and Menyan had to speed up a bit. 10 minutes later. The speed of the wind is basically the same as that of Sarutobi. Because of the relationship between the chakras between the pillars, Hefeng has a natural advantage in terms of battery life. And when encountering some conventional animal attacks, Hefeng not only didn't panic, but dealt with it freely, dodging to a safe place, and handing these animals to others to solve. It behaves like a professional hunter who has survived in the jungle for a long time. Phaegian's eyes narrowed slightly, carefully observing the breeze. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, it would be hard for him to believe that a 7-year-old kid would have caught up with the real ninjas like Sarutobi Hizen in only 10 minutes. And Kuma said that the gentle breeze has grown up, and he has never even tried something like a 1-kilometer race. This kind of talent, this adaptability, even in the Warring States period, no one can do it. The most important is, Hefeng is only 7 years old this year. Sui Jian was terminally ill due to the column, but began to worry about Konoha's heart in the future. Because of the performance of the gentle wind, waves of excitement were set off. Maybe, Hefeng may really surpass Big Brother in the future. No, if you train well, Hefeng might have the power of your big brother and my wisdom at the same time. Hefeng, you will be a clan with 1,000 hands, a super genius that is rare in a century. Chapter 4. Are we a drag? Advertisement. At first, Hefeng's actions were indeed embarrassing. At the age of 7, he didn't have the habit of insisting on exercising, so he suddenly carried out vigorous exercise, and his heart rate soared to 160 in an instant. However, as the wind began to use chakra between pillars, his soaring heart rate stabilized, and his short breathing eased down. It only took 10 minutes for Hefeng to adapt to the speed of Sarutobi and others. Not only that, but he didn't need to focus all his energy on running, and he started observing the movements around him. I don't know if it's his own illusion. Hefeng feels that the death forest is much bigger than it was during the Zongnan exam. The beast's desire to attack is also stronger. If I'm not mistaken, it's probably due to the population. Hefeng guesses in his heart that the population of Konoha village is still very small, and the forest area will naturally be larger. When the population continues to increase in the future, the area of the dead forest will also shrink. In this way, the request to reach the central tower within 10 days can be explained. Because the distance is longer than during the Nakanan exam, the beasts are also more fierce than that time. Therefore, even for Sarutobi Hizen and others, this field survival training has a certain degree of difficulty. It's just that Hefeng didn't realize it. This is actually not a certain degree of difficulty, but very difficult. From time to time, Sarutobi Hizen glanced back at Hefeng, and was shocked by his performance. He really couldn't understand how a 7-year-old kid got used to all this in just 10 minutes. When I first came to the Death Forest, it was when I was 12 years old. Whether it is physique, ninjutsu, or adaptability, they are the best among their peers. Even the mirror of the Uchiha family is inferior. As a result, I entered the Death Forest with Master Fagian, and ran desperately by himself in order not to be left behind by him. In less than 5 minutes, I just vomited. Worried that Kazuka would be the same as himself back then, Sarutobi Hizen deliberately didn't run so fast. But when he found that he had gradually adapted to the wind, he began to slowly increase his speed. By the time 5 minutes passed, he was already running much faster than the Master Shunjian back then. Now, it's almost the limit of my own speed. But the gentle breeze still followed behind him steadily, breathing smoothly, walking steadily, and behaved with ease. The most important thing is that Master Fagian specially emphasized. This is the first time Hefeng has received training. Hefeng, this kid, the adaptability is too outrageous. Is this the grandson of Lord Zujian? If it hadn't been seen with his own eyes, even if someone had blown through the sky, Sarutobi Hizen would not believe it. This is simply a fantasy. Suddenly, Sarutobi Hizen had a feeling that people were dying than people, and they were throwing away goods. Advertisement. Hefeng's talent is like a mountain, an unattainable mountain, suddenly pressing on himself, looking up, but there is no end. Let alone go beyond. My current physical stamina and speed are all built on day-to-day training, and only polished after 10 years. But it took only 10 minutes for Hefeng to catch up. This kind of innate talent is too terrifying. Sarutobi Hizen's heart was like a huge rock falling into the center of the lake, causing layers of ripples, and he couldn't calm down for a long time. He always thought that as long as he kept working hard and persevering, one day, I will be able to catch up with Lord Shang Fagian. How persistent and confident this belief is. Now he felt so shocked and disappointed in his heart. Danzo on the side was almost in the same mood as him. When he first entered the Death Forest, Danzo wanted to take good care of the wind. After all, he is the grandson of the original Hokage-sama. Maybe you can add points to Lord Fagian. But who knows? Where does this and wind need to be taken care of by yourself? Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. His talent is simply terrible. It took me nearly 10 years to get the results. After only 10 minutes, he was caught up with the wind. This made him even suspect that he was simply wasting time all these years. Even Danzo's eyes looking at Hefeng were not only surprised, but also sluggish. The original Danzo did not believe in the theory of genius. Because there are so many geniuses around me. Sarutobi's high slash. The mirror of the Uchiha clan. There is also the Chu Taoist style, and the Hyuga's Shirakawa. In front of them, Danzo did not feel that he was inferior to others. On the contrary, he firmly believes in his heart that these geniuses are nothing great. He can defeat them one by relying on his hard work and the city government, and become the third generation of Hokage in the future. But now, the appearance of the gentle breeze gave him a blow. It seemed to be telling him that there are not only geniuses in this world. And born with it, out of reach. Hefeng, can I call you like that? Uchiha Kagami, who had been silent, finally couldn't help it. I want to ask one thing, did you really take any training before entering the Dead Forest? Advertisement. Good question. At this moment, Uchiha Mirror almost asked everyone's feelings. How much the people present wished to hear a sentence. No, I used to train every day. However, this is my first time, I hope it won't drag you back. Hefeng replied. Now he only has a powerful chakra, and he can't see how the Sarutobi and others are. After all, these people are the high-level Konoha in the future. Is the future boss. From Hefeng's point of view, these people are likely to cooperate with themselves. In any case, are you the strongest person? But the truth is. Hold back. We all feel like we are holding you back, okay? If it weren't for you to be 7 years old this year, I'm afraid you would have been riding the dust. Especially Uchiha Mirror. Now he has opened the riding wheel that only the Uchiha clan has. It is no exaggeration to say that he is the genius of the Uchiha clan. Sooner or later, it will grow to a height stronger than Madara. In addition, the Senju clan and Uchiha clan have had many years of confrontation. Now that he saw his name of genius rubbed against the ground by the wind, his heart felt like he had eaten something that shouldn't be eaten. Very uncomfortable. Is the Uchiha clan destined to be suppressed by the surname Senju? But these are just the thoughts in their hearts, and they will not be expressed. That, after half an hour of running with the wind, coupled with the occasional beasts and large insect attacks, he has a new understanding of the dead forest. This place is more dangerous than he thought. The sky gradually darkened, but they didn't even solve the water source problem. Anyway, it's a traverser. When the wind is boring, I have seen Bei Yi's jungler tutorial. This kind of wild survival depends on the water source. The sound of the gentle breeze attracted everyone's attention at once. You don't need to slow down in order to cooperate with me, I can keep up with you. Hefeng said. Everyone, are we a drag? Chapter 5 Who done that thing can hurt people. Advertisement. Hefeng, as a ninja, you need to be calm and calm. This training lasts for 10 days. There is no need to rush for a while. Sarutobi Hizen looked ahead and explained to Hefeng, that would only consume excess physical energy. Sarutobi Hizen's words made everyone except Kazu a sigh of relief. The current travel speed is almost such that they can stabilize the state while being alert to the limits of their surroundings. If the speed is forced to increase, it will adversely affect itself. But, the people in this team are almost twice their age. Can't tell the truth directly. Even if they are gifted in gentle style, the faces of these predecessors can't hold back. Indeed, I didn't think about it well. Hefeng suddenly realized. I just got the chakra between the pillars, and I didn't even have a ninja mind. Thinking and judgment are all preconceived before crossing. In addition, the people in this team are all high-level Konoha in the future. He is the boss who controls the village in his hands. There is no doubt about the breeze. To put it simply, the current style of thinking is somewhat dizzy. I thought I was surrounded by bigwigs, but I didn't know that I was the strongest one. However, it was when Hefeng readjusted his mentality and prepared to learn more ninja thinking from Sarutobi. A deafening roar suddenly sounded in front of the team. Even Sarutobi Hizen was taken aback and hurriedly made a gesture. Except for the gentle breeze, the others quickly dispersed, jumped off the branches, and hid behind the trunk. On the contrary, he was a little stunned. Aren't these guys all Konoha's bosses? It makes no sense to be afraid of a beast, right? Isn't the roar a bit louder and exaggerated than the ones encountered before? During the Zongan exam, Sasuke killed a 2-meter-high brown bear with one move. Seeing that Hefeng was indifferent, Xiaochun jumped out again and took his arm, leading him behind a big tree. Xiaochun stretched out her index finger, pressed her lips, and motioned to Hefeng not to make a sound. Other people's reactions also seemed to be somewhat apprehensive. Unexpectedly, I met a difficult guy so soon, do you want to get around? Uchiha Koji gestured to sign. Advertisement. Considering that not every task can be communicated through dialogue, Sarutobi and others thought of this way. Wait first, maybe we didn't find us. Sarutobi Hizen replied using sign language. In his opinion, training has just begun, and some battles can be avoided as much as possible. Seeing these big guys so cautious, Hefeng frowned. Naruto and Sasuke were already at their peak when they were 16, because they were the protagonists and had a lot of plugins on them. When ordinary people are about 16 years old, they don't have much combat power. But even so, Hefeng can hardly understand why they are afraid of a beast. However, Hefeng quickly realized. My own thoughts are still stuck in the period of the Zongan exam. As the roaring guy gradually approached them, the earth trembled with its footsteps. Hefeng's gaze focused on the behemoth. It was a one-horned rhino whose skin looked as hard as a rock. It was 6 or 7 meters tall and weighed tens of tons to start. Much like the psychic beast that Pen had summoned when he invaded Konoha. Why is there such a thing in the Death Forest? This is because Master Phagian is worried that the difficulty of survival training in the wild is too low, and he deliberately put all kinds of giant beasts in the forest. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Seeing Hefeng's confused face, Xiaochun whispered very quietly in his ear. After all, Hefeng doesn't understand their sign language. Huwu and Shuriken can't penetrate that guy's body at all, and even the best Huo done in the mirror cannot cause fatal damage. It's not wise to fight that kind of beast without a last resort. Hearing Xiaochun's words, Hefeng did not feel that it was strange that Huo done could not cause harm. It seems that the fire escape of the Uchiha clan has never killed anyone. Just when everyone was about to let the one-horned rhino go. This behemoth seemed to have discovered something extraordinary, and roared again toward the Hefeng. The sound formed an invisible impact, shaking most of the leaves on the tree. All kinds of flying birds even panicked, flying into the air and staying away from here. It found me. Xiaochun almost subconsciously gestures with sign language, but the action is only half completed. The ground underneath Hefeng's feet began to vibrate and kept rising. It's like a mountain abruptly and the ground is cracked. Sarutobi and others were scared and pale. At the feet of Hefeng and Xiaochun, there is no land at all. Advertisement. At this moment, Sarutobi and others suddenly realized why the one-horned rhinoceros would notice them. And why is there such an exaggerated roar of the beast? It is warning. Warn that another beast has entered its own territory. The guy at the foot of Zephyr is actually a giant black centipede with a body length of nearly 10 meters and a shell-like steel. It arched its front body, trying to straighten it up. In panic, Xiaochun yelled to Hefeng not to move, and took out kunai neatly with his hands, gathered chakra under his feet, and absorbed himself on the back of the centipede. She grabbed the clothes of the gentle wind with one hand so that he would not fall off, and the other hand burst out with muscle power to pierce kunai into the weak joints of the centipede. Bang! Along with the sound, Xiaochun's kunai broke on the spot, and the sharp end flew back and pierced her collarbone. The intense pain caused Xiaochun to be distracted for a moment, and the black centipede kept swaying her body, throwing her down with Hefeng. At the critical moment, Hefeng adjusted his center of gravity in the air, with one hand holding Xiaochun's back, and the other holding her thigh. She took Xiaochun to the ground in a princess's embrace. Thump. As soon as Hefeng settled down, he threw Xiaochun to the ground. It's not that he doesn't have the strength to maintain this action, but that the one-horned rhino and the black centipede attacked at the same time. The one-horned rhinoceros lowered its head slightly and rushed forward, even the earth trembling. Their respective goals are each other, and they don't care about Hefeng and Xiaochun at all. But, the location where Hefeng and Xiaochun fell is just the only way for the two giants. Oops. Sarutobi and others dilated their pupils, and their faces instantly became pale. In any case, Hefeng is the grandson of the original Hokage. If he gets hurt here, not only will Master Zujian and Master Shuima be angry, but they will also feel deep guilt and self-blame in their hearts. However, with their location, they simply couldn't rush through. At the same time, the entrance to the dead forest. Staring at the changes in the crystal ball, he never expected that Hefeng would encounter such a big problem the first time he participated in training. If there is a long and two shortcomings, then how can I meet my eldest brother? Even at this moment, the corpse of the board appeared in front of his eyes. Flying Thor. Chapter 6 I have a showdown, I'm a match. Advertisement. Mirror. Sarutobi Hizen yelled to his companion, and his hands were sealed. Uchiha Jingshin understood that Sarutobi wanted to use fire escape with him at the same time to delay the giant beast's footsteps. Then Danzo and Yan rushed to save people. Hefeng is the grandson of Lord Zujian. And this year is only 7 years old, the body is still developing, if it is hit by any one of the one-horned rhino and the black centipede. I'm afraid it's all death or injury. Fire escape fire dragon bullet. Sarutobi condensed chakra to his throat, sprayed out a beam of flame, and continued to burn the black centipede, trying to make it retreat. However, the shell of the centipede easily resisted the high temperature of the flame and was not harmed at all. The mirror is not so good. As the Uchiha clan, he performed the art of fireball. It also condensed chakra to his throat, but ejected a fireball of more than 2 meters in diameter from his mouth, and went straight to the one-horned rhino. Call. The fireball hit the rhinoceros' face, but was directly scattered by its horn blade. Not only did it not cause fatal damage, but it completely angered it. Whoops. The one-horned rhino became more violent, with bloodshot eyes. Facing such a giant beast, Xiaochun stood still on the spot, this kind of oppression made her body completely froze. On the contrary, the gentle breeze became the most calm one, his eyes narrowed slightly, watching the rhinoceros rushing towards him. Don't move, Hefeng warned Xiaochun. This sentence makes Xiaochun feel complicated. Is she not wanting to move now? It was clearly the oppression produced by these two violent behemoths that made her unable to move. I wanted to find a suitable opportunity. It seems that it's no good not to be serious. Hefeng did not expect that he would suddenly fall into the center of the two giant beasts. It is difficult for Sarutobi and others to provide timely support. Even from Hefeng's point of view, their current strength seems to be at the level of forbearance. Especially Uchiha Mirror's powerful fireball technique. It can't be compared with Uchiha Itachi of the same age. This also made Hefeng lose expectations of them. The one-horned rhino is getting closer and closer. 6 meters. 5 meters. Every time the distance is shortened, the greater the sense of oppression that the behemoth brings to them. Roar. The rhino's roar was deafening, as if forming a shock, making the horns of the Japanese style begin to sway. Advertisement. At the same time, Fei Jian used his perception of chakra to the extreme, and kept using flying thunder to rush to the scene. He is starting to regret it now. I regret letting Hefeng participate in this training prematurely. Sarutobi and Uchiha Mirror have already reached the level of ninja, and the others are also elites in ninja. But in the face of behemoths of this level, they still need to cooperate with each other to win. This is the result of deliberate arrangement in order to exercise their team ability. But, each giant beast has its own territory and range of activities. Basically, the well water does not interfere with the river water. But who knows, two giant beasts actually appeared in the same territory. And the breeze fell to their center. Gentle style. He gritted his teeth, and a smiling face appeared in his mind. In a blink of an eye, he became a cold corpse again. Although Hefeng is the grandson of Zhu Jian, he is also the most important family member deep in the heart of Fei Jian. But when I rushed to the scene in the middle of the door, I saw the gentle breeze with my own eyes. He found it surprisingly. Hefeng is not like other 7-year-old children, who only knows how to cry when facing two huge beasts. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. There is also no body stiffness and incontinence on the spot. On the contrary, Fei Jian felt a strong sense of self-confidence from Hefeng. Calmly confident. This description is difficult to associate with a 7-year-old child. But, this is what I feel from Hefeng. It was almost a subconscious reaction, and the movement stopped. His pupils began to dilate, and he had a strong expectation for the performance of the gentle breeze in his heart. Is it possible? How sure is Hefeng to retreat from the whole body? At this time, the distance between the two giants and the wind is less than 3 meters. But with the speed of flying thunder god, he was sure to take the wind away at the last minute. This is why he will stop. Strong confidence in your own speed. It's over. Xiaochun's eyes widened, and she wanted to get up and push the breeze hard. Hope that the breeze after lying down will not be accidentally injured by the giant beast. But the oppression brought by the behemoth made her unable to do anything. Sarutobi and Danzo couldn't help regretting at this moment. Advertisement. When Master Feijian makes a request, they should strongly oppose it. Do not let Hefeng participate in this actual combat training. Master Feijian. Suddenly, Sarutobi called out Shinsho Janma's name. In his opinion, the only way to save Hefeng now is with Master Feijian's technique of flying thunder gods. Or maybe, Sarufei gritted his teeth, maybe he couldn't rush out with the wind, but he could rush to hug him tightly and use his body as a meat shield. If you use my body to rush over and hug Hefeng, you might be able to withstand some damage, but... Danzo and Sarutobi thought of going together again. But cold sweat broke out on his forehead, and his body was slow to move. In this instant, everyone's brain has produced a variety of ideas. This should be what people often say is a cutoff point. Only the gentle performance was the most understatement, the corners of his mouth raised, and a smile appeared. I wanted to get along with everyone as an ordinary person. But now, I can only have a showdown. Sorry, I'm actually a bad match. Hefeng smiled. Noting the corners of Hefeng's mouth, Xiaochun couldn't help blinking and felt his scalp numb. Face two terrifying behemoths. Hefeng can still laugh out. Could it be that he has been scared stupid? The one-horned rhino and black centipede also shortened the distance to 2 meters at this time. Crucial. Not good. The room hidden in the dark began to prepare for Flying Thunder God, worried that it might be too late if he didn't make a move. The most dangerous central zone. Hefeng's eyes became sharp, and the chakra in his body covered his whole body. This is also Hefeng's biggest trump card for having the courage to set foot in this dead forest. The chakra of the Senjutsu level. And the reward for Hefeng is not just about having chakras, and how to use the muscle memory of chakras. It's like breathing and drinking water. Hefeng stood firm and burst out the chakra covering the whole body. The majestic chakra instantly formed a strong air current, and went straight to the one-horned rhino and the black centipede, and went in all directions. This technique was used when Senjutsu was reincarnated by the dirty soil of Oshimaru. But he was just for deterrence, and did not use his full strength. But Hefeng faced 2 giant beasts who wanted to kill him. He naturally wouldn't have any scruples, let alone show mercy. The chakra that broke out was originally more violent and powerful than the pillars at that time. Also more majestic. 2 huge fierce beasts measuring several meters in size. In this way, he was lifted off by the gentle chakra. Chapter 7 What Happened? Advertisement. Focus on the Japanese style. The air current formed by the majestic chakra burst out instantly, covering a radius of tens of meters. The ground layer at the foot of the gentle wind cracked, forming a spider web-like crack. Sarutobi recut. Shimura Danzo. Uchiha Mirror. These people who will leave their names in Konoha's history in the future are all unable to open their eyes by the air pressure formed by this chakra. As for the 2 giant beasts rushing towards the breeze at the same time, they were frozen in place as if they had hit an invisible wall of air. No matter how they roar and resist, it won't help. Although the current Zephyr is only 7 years old, his chakra intensity is several times exaggerated than anyone present. Do not, maybe dozens of times, hundreds of times the gap. Fear gradually appeared in the eyes of the one-horned rhino and the black centipede. They cannot understand why a human child has such power. And as the airflow continued, the limbs of the one-horned rhinoceros gradually left the ground. It opened its eyes wide, the fear in its eyes became stronger and stronger, its limbs swayed wildly, trying to get rid of the airflow and regain its footing. The situation of the black centipede was not much better either. The erected body began to move backward, and the lower body gradually separated from the ground. The towering trees that had grown around for nearly 100 years were all uprooted by the breezy chakras, flying upside down like a kite with a broken line. All these changes happened in a flash. The chakra bursting out of the gentle breeze, like a huge wave, sweeping across every corner. Wherever you go, no grass will grow. The bodies of the one-horned rhino and the black centipede began to roll, being pushed horizontally by the strong air current. Rumble, accompanied by loud noises, the bodies of the 2 giant beasts kept smashing to the ground, bounced, and repeated back and forth. Their proud weight, strong muscles, and hard skin have turned into a weapon for harming them. The internal organs are squeezed layer by layer, making them very painful. I don't know how long it took before the 2 giant beasts lay motionless on the ground like dead fish being shot on the beach by the waves. In the meantime, countless big trees were knocked down by them. Thousands of hands, who had originally planned to use the technique of Flying Thunder God to save Hefeng, was stunned on the spot. The eyes, expressions, and slightly opened lips fully showed the color of consternation. And Zhuan Xiaochun, who was next to Hefeng, looked at the cracked open space in front of him, feeling uneasy for a long time. What happened? I thought I and Hefeng would end up either death or injury. In a blink of an eye. Advertisement. The one-horned rhino disappeared in front of him. Suddenly, Xiaochun seemed to realize something. She turned her head and looked behind her. The black centipede, which was nearly 10 meters in length, had already disappeared. Is this a life from the Jedi? Xiaochun blinked, and now she desperately hopes that someone can come forward and explain. In the end, what happened? Why did the 2 menacing behemoths disappear? Could it be some illusion? Was he hit by illusion from the beginning? Is everything an illusion? But this is not a confrontation exercise, but a team exercise. How could someone perform illusions on themselves? And the power just now, is it really chakra? Xiaochun rolled her throat and swallowed nervously. That is neither physique nor ninjutsu. In Xiaochun's view, it was just an air current that brought chakra to the extreme. In my impression, Master Sensho Kenma seemed to have used such a move. Read more at hotmtl novel.zi, but in my line of sight, I can't see Master Shujian at all. Could it be? Xiaochun was shocked in his heart, and gradually focused on Hefeng. Although this matter seemed to her to be unbelievable and fantastical, it seems that only a gentle breeze can do it for people who have just exploded into this kind of power. In fact, not only Xiaochun realized this. Sarutobi recut. Shimura Danzo. Uchiha Mirror. Mito Menidus. Autumn Road takes the wind. When the crisis brought by the behemoth was lifted and the scene was completely quiet, they coincided with the same thought in their minds. What just happened? Why can't they open their eyes with such a strong air pressure? Why do 2 giant beasts fly upside down? The most important thing is, who saved the wind and Xiaochun? With these questions, the first reaction of Sarutobi and others was one of Master Zuma and Master Shuma. But who knows, wait until the airflow disappears. Master Zujian and Master Fajian did not appear. On the contrary, it was a gentle breeze, standing calmly beside Xiaochun. Advertisement. Hisaka, what the hell is going on? Menyon Mito came to Sarutobi, hoping to get an answer. After all, Sarutobi Hisaki is the most outstanding one of them in all aspects. But Sarutoi could only show an awkward expression in the face of questions from his companions. He didn't know what happened. Judging from the current signs, it seemed that the gentle breeze broke out in chakra, and the two giant beasts that threatened him blew up. But this is too exaggerated, right? A child who is only 7 years old. No matter how talented he is, no matter how talented he is. It shouldn't be so exaggerated, right? To be honest, I hope that Master Phaegian used the technique of Flying Thunder God to suddenly appear, and then disappear after defeating the giant beast with the technique of Flying Thunder God. If this speculation is the truth of the facts, Sarutobi Hizen feels that he can feel much better. But he didn't perceive the chakra in the door. But the breeze of the chakra broke out and did not kill the two behemoths. They stayed quiet for a while in the fallen position, and then reaccumulated the strength to stand up. Although this process they tried 4 times before they succeeded. But when they looked towards Hefeng again, they had no desire and courage to take revenge at all. In their eyes, there is only the fear of the gentle breeze. This fear stems from their animal instincts, from their blood, as if the weak rabbit has seen the king of beasts. There is only one thought in their brains. This guy is very dangerous, very dangerous. He is not his opponent at all. After the two wild beasts glanced at the wind, they turned around in a panic and fled. Such a scene was naturally caught by Sarutobi Hizen and others. Even in this death forest, which claims to have a very low survival rate, these two behemoths are the king of beasts who can walk sideways. And they would have an indelible fear of a human child. As this, the grandson of Master Zujian. Sarutobi Hizen looked at Hefeng's profile again. Although his heart is very reluctant to admit this fact. But after eliminating all the impossible, the remaining possibilities are the only incorrect answer no matter how impossible they seem. Lord Between the Pillars and Lord Phaegian did not rescue. And they don't have that power at all. That terrifying, super powerful chakra, which came to the extreme, came from the Japanese style. Thousand Hands and Wind. Chapter 8. Shima, Madara, Senna, all were younger brothers when they were 7 years old. Advertisement. After seeing the terrifying power of the wind, the black centipede lost all energy and panicked to flee towards the depths of the forest. However, its speed was getting slower and slower, and eventually it grabbed the ground with its head and fell in front of the door. The same goes for the other one-horned rhino. Frozen in place, Fei Lei Shen's movement stopped abruptly, his body seemed to be deeply rooted, motionless. It wasn't until the black centipede crashed in front of him that he reacted with hindsight. Dead, dead. Opening his mouth in the middle of the story, he found that the black centipede had no vital signs. Its organs were all shattered, and a lot of blood spurted out of its mouth. Like a fierce beast of this level, ordinary ninjutsu can't cause fatal damage at all. With Sarutobi and their current strength, it is not easy to solve this big guy. Putting it another way, if Sarutobi and the others could easily kill a beast of this level in seconds, the field survival training they arranged would be meaningless. Only in the face of tough enemies can we grow. As long as such a beast encounters one, it will reduce the survival rate. Not to mention meeting two at the same time. From the perspective of Fei Jian, even if Sarutobi and others perform supernormally, it will take a bit of hard work to resolve the crisis in the wild. However, the person who really turned the danger into a breeze turned out to be the 7-year-old grandson of the eldest brother. Is this kind of thing really possible? I couldn't help but swallowed. He was born in the Warring States period. For him, war is almost no different from eating daily. The average lifespan of a ninja is only 30 years old. The main reason is that the child died prematurely on the battlefield. The so-called survival exercise in the wild is just a way to simulate war. And the real war is basically two concepts. Children who can often survive on the battlefield have strong survivability and judgment skills. Just take out one, it's much more powerful than the genius people now call it. For example, the mirror of the Uchiha clan. He is not only a master in the clan, but also a ninja who bears the name of Uchiha's genius. Now I barely opened a 1-go jade and a 2-go jade to write round eyes. And Uchiha Madara, Uchiha Senna, at his age, already has a 3-go jade writing wheel eye. But, whether it's Uchiha Madara or Uchiha Izuna. He was a younger brother when he was 7. No, even the 7-year-old brother can't compare with Hefeng. Fei Jian was a little bit incoherent with excitement, and directly compared Hefeng with Zuma, Madara, and Senna in his mind. But this is the fact. Advertisement. When they were 7 years old, they didn't have such an exaggerated chakra. Especially Big Brother, he didn't even know what strange power was when he was 7 years old. Not to mention that chakra will be precisely controlled, and weird power will erupt. It's very certain. The power just used by the wind is the weird power of the Thousand Hands clan. That is the ability of the operator to precisely control the chakra, concentrate it on the whole body, cover the chakra in all parts of the body, and finally burst out air currents. It is like the writing round eyes of the Uchiha clan who are good at releasing illusions. What their Thousand Hands clan is best at is strange power. However, just like the Uchiha clan, not everyone can open the writing wheel. Strange power is not something that only people of the thousand-handed clan can master. Like Kuji, the father of Japanese style, he would not use strange powers. There are also strong and weak points between strange force and strange force. After all, People and their physique cannot be generalized. Even if it is the current self, it is only to the extent of breaking a building with all its strength. And the strange power of the wind. But in an instant he easily killed the Beastmaster with a tonnage of at least 20 tons. All the towering trees within a radius of tens of meters will be flattened. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. The ground under your feet is covered with cracks like spider webs. If it is not for understanding the ins and outs of the whole thing. I might even wonder if the person using the strange power just broke out of chakra, would he be his eldest brother? Because this is something that even oneself can't do. However, the majestic chakra that was produced just in that instant. A terrifying force that easily kills two giant beasts in seconds. No doubt, it is from the Japanese style. There is no second possibility. Sarutobi Hazaki, Shimura Danzo, Uchiha Mirror. Anyone is good, they don't have such a majestic chakra and precise control over the chakra. Among several generations of the Thousand Hands clan, only one person has a big brother with a chakra comparable to the tail beast. It is no exaggeration to say that there is no one in a million. Since now, Big Brother will become a unique legend of the Thousand Hands clan. Unexpectedly, there is another gentle breeze now. Sure enough, have you inherited the blood of your eldest brother? He took a deep breath and swallowed again, his inner passion pung by. Since knowing that Uchiha Madara was killed by his eldest brother. Advertisement. He never experienced this excitement again. The most important is, Big Brother's grandson. It's also my grandson in 1,000 hands. It is also the inheritor and hope of my thousand-handed clan. Maybe. Suddenly, my eyes lit up, and the bright eyes burst with unprecedented light. Feng, this kid not only inherited the chakra and strange power of his elder brother, but also Mu Dun, which only elder brother can use. I thought of this possibility. Fei Jian's mood became extremely excited. At the same time he also made up his mind. Never let the eldest brother break the breeze. His big nerves, the feeling of loss at every turn, and the gambling-like character. Say nothing to let the breeze be contaminated. Hefeng in the future is destined to grow into a better Hokage than my eldest brother and me. Let Konoha usher in the outstanding Naruto of his heyday. In this short period of time, a series of training came to mind. Even, since Konoha was established between the pillars, he hoped that the barriers between the various families would be completely put down. To this end, he encouraged the Thousand Hands to intermarry with foreigners. Even he married Mito from the Whirlpool family and set an example. I also thought about letting Feijian marry a Uchiha as his wife. In addition, he also asked his descendants to abandon the surname Senju. Although I don't understand and disagree with what my eldest brother is doing, I can't help it. After all, Big Brother is Hokage. However, there was no agreement about the marriage with Uchiha. It seems that Hefeng should continue to inherit the surname Senju. Speaking of it, Hefeng's body is equivalent to the lineage of the Chinsho clan and the Uzumaki clan. If you let him marry someone from Uchiha. Suddenly, my brain opened up. He doesn't hate the Uchiha clan, otherwise he wouldn't be a disciple. He just thinks that the Uchiha clan possesses great power, so he must be particularly vigilant. Hefeng's talent now makes Feijian extremely shocked. He naturally began to plan the future direction for Hefeng. The common problem of the elders. Chapter 9 My grandson Zhen Zhengmaohong. Advertisement. The emotions were agitated and couldn't calm down for a long time. He arranged this survival exercise in the wild because he was worried about the terminal illness of his eldest brother. There is indeed peace in the ninja world. Muya Village, Wuyin Village, Union Village, Yenian Village, Cheyenne Village. The 5 ninja villages jointly signed a peace agreement. But I understand in my heart that peace will not last forever. In his opinion, this hard-won peace is entirely based on the terrifying strength of Big Brother. The shadows of other shinobu villages are tied together, and they may not be able to beat the eldest brother alone. Once the eldest brother passes away due to a terminal illness, the peaceful ninja world will be turbulent again. Although this kind of thinking is cruel, it is indeed a future that will happen. Feijian can even foresee that the war that originally took the family as a unit will be upgraded to the shinobu village as a unit. The number of people participating in the battle will be several times, dozens of times more. Ninja village in the desert longs for water. The villages on the island covet the land. The village on the desolate rock wall wants rich soil. Konoha has all the resources they need. Although Senjuan thought of the tail beast deterrence plan, each village was afraid of the other's tail beasts and did not dare to start a war easily. But in fact, the tail beasts in each village are far less powerful than the shadows. Really make the peace agreement signed by the villages have sufficient binding force and execution force, in fact, the existence of the Big Brother Hokage. In other words, peace today is time-bound. It is the lifespan of the eldest brother. Once the so-called agreement loses its supervisor, it will become a fragile piece of white paper. There is no friendship or fetters between Ninja Village and Ninja Village, the country of nations. Only benefits, especially experienced during the Warring States period. Brother Wajian, Banjian, their deaths shattered the innocence of the room time and time again. Created his current character. He cares about the eldest brother between Zujian, his family and the village. He would feel sad, and indignant for the terminal illness between the pillars. But he won't stop, give up on himself, and lose himself in the sadness of losing his elder brother. Doing that will only cause Konoha, who was built by his eldest brother, to completely collapse. So after learning that Shijian was terminally ill, Jian began to select talented children from various families. Sarutobi's Danzo of the Shimura family. The mirror of Uchiha's house. Shaochun, Yan, and Chudao take the wind. Train them to become Konoha's pillars. When the pillars pass away, their power can ensure that Konoha still stands here. Advertisement. It is Konoha's hope in the future. Heir to the will of fire. This is the plan in the interim, and the real purpose of the survival exercise in the wild. Among them, Sun Slash is even more favored by him, and has always been cultivated as a shadow of the future. After all, Mu Jian failed to inherit the talent of Big Brother. Not to mention Mu Dun's secret technique, he couldn't even use the strange power. He has no heirs. To give Konoha to a foreigner, saying that it sounds nice is to follow the idea of elder brother to eliminate barriers. To be unpleasant is helpless. How helpless is this kind of helplessness? How excited he is now. How excited. Hefeng's performance allowed him to see another path. Another possibility. His talent is far beyond Sarutobi Rishi. Do not. Even far surpassing myself, eldest brother, and Madara. The most important thing is that Hefeng is the grandson of the eldest brother. Read more at hotmtl novel.zi, the root is red. I really can't think of a reason why I can't cultivate harmony. Everyone understands the truth. There is no cronyism for such things as power. Is it necessary to leave others alone? Just let the people under your hand work against yourself. Isn't this a fool? What Sarutobi recut, Shimura Danzo? All stand aside for me. My elder brother's grandson is the most suitable person to inherit the position of Naruto. My eyes widened, suddenly a picture flashed in my mind. And many more, suddenly realized that I had overlooked a very important detail. When Hefeng fell from the back of the black centipede, he did not show a panic expression. On the contrary, he adjusted his center of gravity in midair and hugged Shaochun. Although he threw Shaochun on the ground as soon as he landed, it was enough to prove that the gentle breeze at the time was calm and not surprised at everything. You know, Hefeng is only 7 years old this year. Is it possible? He took a breath from the corner of his mouth, drawing more pictures in his mind. The place where the breeze fell was just the center of the one-horned rhino and the black centipede. Advertisement. There are wolves before and tigers behind. No, it's scarier than that. Either rhino or centipede can rub a group of tiger wolves on the ground. Faced with two ferocious behemoths, Hefeng never showed fear or panic. This also means that the Japanese style at that time has full confidence and confidence. Think Sarutobi and the others will definitely save themselves. Or believing that my second grandfather will definitely be able to rush to the scene. There is indeed such a possibility. But no one will show such strong self-confidence because of this possibility. There is only one confidence in Hefeng who truly has such a certainty, and that is he firmly believes that his own power can solve the immediate crisis. This man who invented more than 90% of Konoha's ninjutsu and was known as the god of ninjutsu. I felt an unprecedented shock in my heart. He was stunned by his own guess for the first time. If all his guesses are correct, it also shows that the eruption of the breeze is neither a coincidence nor an awakening from a desperate situation. Hefeng knew from the beginning that he had such power. Isn't it the first time I awakened, but I mastered this ability from the beginning. There was a violent tremor in my heart. He never dreamed that he would be shocked again and again by Hefeng. Unconscious awakening and complete mastery are totally different concepts. The former can happen only when life is seriously threatened. The latter is free release. What makes Feng feel even more terrifying is, before Hefeng was 5 years old, he watched him grow up with his own eyes. When he was a child, he not only hugged him, but also changed diapers to Hefeng himself. As for the 2 years since he left the village, he was surrounded by only the ordinary talented Kuma and the more ordinary Ayako. The ninjas he sent out have been watching secretly and protecting them. Muma didn't mention this when he returned to the village, obviously because he didn't know. This also means that no one has ever taught Zefeng how to precisely control chakra, let alone strange power. My goodness. Suddenly, his pupils dilated, his breathing became rapid, and his heartbeat accelerated. This kid has mastered the strange power without a teacher by his own talent. Is this kind of thing really possible? And it's still within 2 years of leaving the village. No, it's 2 years at most. It may not take that long for a short period of time. When Jian gradually realized this, his cognition was completely subverted. He felt that genius was no longer enough to describe the talent of Hefeng. This is simply broken. What was the eldest brother Zuma doing when he was 7? When he was 7 years old, he was still peeing farther than his tribe. Chapter 10 The only genius in the entire ninja world. Advertisement. This field survival exercise completely subverted the cognition. With a deep breath, he once again used the technique of Flying Thunder God to rush to Hefeng's side. He wanted to observe the wind in secret. But now, there is no need for that. His grandson Hefeng is the only genius in the entire ninja realm. He kept his face with a paralyzed face, but his heart was like a wave that was constantly being rolled up by the wind, and he couldn't calm down. This is a super genius who is only 7 years old and has mastered the power of 1,000 hands without anyone's teaching. Fei, Master Feijian, Shaochun, who was sitting on the ground resting, first noticed Feijian, her eyes showing shock. Then there are Sarutobi, Danzo, Mirror, Yan, and Feng. No one thought that Master Feijian would suddenly show up. If it's the picture just now, they can still understand it. After all, the two giant beasts seriously threatened the wind and Shaochun's safety. It's understandable that the adults in Feijian offered to help. However, now that the crisis has been resolved, Xiaochun's wounds are not serious. Shouldn't the drill continue? Why did Master Shujian come? I scanned the reaction of everyone in the circle. Except for the gentle breeze, everyone's faces were filled with surprise and incomprehension. I have been watching this exercise with telescopes. He spoke slowly, and the corner of his eyes glanced at Hefeng, admiring him more and more in his heart. It's really my grandson. If it wasn't for maintaining his own image, I really wanted to hug the breeze. Controlled strange power at the age of 7. The amount of chakras owned is exaggerated than those of the Maelstrom clan. The most important thing is that Hefeng has not yet ushered in the peak period of his body. With the increase of age, his chakra volume will increase and his physical fitness will become stronger and stronger. When Hefeng reaches his age. No, it is estimated that as long as Hefeng reaches the age of Kuma, no one in the entire ninja world can compete with it. Thinking of this, I can't wait to capture all the other ninja village shadows. Let them take a good look. I, the grandson of Shinshojian, the strongest Hokage in the future. This kind of excitement made Fujiya go to his head, forgetting that he was just the second grandfather of the gentle breeze. Of course, for Fujian, Hefeng is his own grandson. If anyone dares to attack him. Advertisement. I will let him know what Konoha's forbidden technique is. Xiaochun, do you know how dangerous it was just now? Fujian said to Xiaochun. If you are not careful, you and Hefeng will die. Xiaochun lowered her head in shame when she heard the words of Fengjian. Judging from the current point of view, at that time, I should use the reaction force to eject toward the safe area with the gentle wind. Because of panic, Xiaochun almost subconsciously attacked the weak joints of the centipede. Almost a catastrophe. But no matter how you say it, Xiaochun is a girl, only at the level of Zhang Ren. In the face of a crisis, panic, choosing the worst response is normal. If it weren't for the critical moments of peace, they would probably die or be injured. I was wrong, Master Shujian. Xiaochun began to apologize. Not only because of his lack of rational judgment, but also because of his failure to protect the wind. He noticed that everyone's mood began to fall, and Hefeng said randomly, what does it have to do with it? Isn't it all right? Although Xiaochun has become a very scheming old woman in the formal plot, now Xiaochun is only 14 or 5 years old. The looks are quite outstanding among all female ninjas. The most important is, she will control the administrative department of Konoha village in the future, and her position will be equivalent to the village's elder. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi to say that there is no means or ability. Zefeng is unbelief. This is especially true for others. Now that you can have a good relationship with these future bigwigs with just one sentence, why not do it? The small goal set by Hefeng is to become Hokage. But he is not a born murderer. These people neither threatened their actual interests, nor stood on their opposite sides. Suddenly kill them all before they grow up. Hefeng felt that no one would be so stupid. Konoha is the strongest among the 5 ninja villages. Administration, military, diplomacy, etc., are all not easy tasks. For example, after Naruto became Naruto, those who had a lot of affairs had to use the shadow clone, which was no different from social animals. In Hefeng's eyes, that kind of Naruto was undoubtedly a failure. And as long as the strength is strong enough, there is no need to be afraid of someone coveting the position of Hokage. Facing the gentle answer, the words were lost for a while. Master Fujian, just now, what the hell is going on? Sarutobi saw this and quickly intervened in the conversation between the two. First, it was to ease the embarrassment between the pages. Secondly, this is indeed the truth that everyone desperately wants to know. Advertisement. He glanced at Hefeng, and began to explain. Forget it, this is not a secret technique. The man who killed those 2 beasts just now was the wind. As soon as these words came out, the audience was in an uproar. Kill, kill, Surufei and Tuan Zhang widened their eyes and said in unison. Didn't Hefeng just knock the 2 giant beasts into the air just now? Then, in fear, they turned and fled for their lives. Dead, dead, that's right. Jian nodded. I ran into the black centipede on the way here, and its internal organs were directly shattered. The other rhino probably did the same. Sarutobi and the others couldn't help but take a breath, their eyes focused on Hefeng again. It's not just a knock up, but a kill. This is completely 2 concepts. They didn't even dare to imagine what would happen if the power of the gentle wind hit people. Too frightening. He is only 7 years old. Of course, the real cause of the death of the 2 giant beasts actually had a lot to do with their weight. How could a huge behemoth of dozens of tons rotate and hit the ground with little impact on the internal organs? If you fight against a ninja, you won't have that exaggerated lethality. Just think about it calmly and you can realize it. It was just because he was so shocked that Sarutobi and others ignored this. And the power used by the wind is actually the unique ability of the Thousand Show clan. Jian continued to explain. This ability is called a strange force, and it requires precise control of the chakra to use it freely. It's like the riding wheel of the Uchiha clan. Not everyone who inherits the name of Thousand Hands can have this ability. It often requires extremely strong talent and hard practice. In order to master this ability, I practiced assiduously for 5 years. Accompanied by the strange power of popular science. The mouths of Sarutobi and others opened wide into an O shape. 5 years. Even Master Fujian has been practicing for 5 years. Doesn't this mean that Hefeng started cultivating when he was 2 years old? But how is this possible? Fei Jian was very satisfied with everyone's expressions, and then continued. The first generation of Naruto, known as the God of Ninjas, took 3 years to master the strange power. Only the gentle wind, without anyone's instruction, in less than 2 years, without a teacher, he has learned the strange power. Chapter 11 I'm just an ordinary 7-year-old kid. Advertisement. One wave has not settled and one wave has risen again. Sarutobi, Danzo and others have not come out of the shock of the giant beast easily resolved by the wind. I heard the shocking news that broke out in the middle of the story again. The strange power of the gentle breeze. Master Phaegian spent 5 years. The pilgrim used it for 3 years. And they all know the rumors between the pillars. End the warring states period. Build the first shinobu village in history. Standing on the pinnacle of the ninja world, being known as the god of ninja. No doubt, Lord between the pillars is a legend. However, in the current Japanese style, the time to learn the strange power is shorter than that of Master Zuma and Master Shwema. Still on the premise that no one is teaching. How amazing is this? What a horror is this? Compare yourself. Not to mention the time when he was 7 years old, even the current self cannot control chakra with such precision. At most, it is to condense the chakra to a certain part and release ninjutsu. Such a thing is covering the chakra all over the body. It's totally useless. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, none of them would believe it. A Zephyr who is only 7 years old can send and receive strange powers freely. Yes, it is. He is only 7 years old. 7 years old. This is simply shocking. Whether it is Lord Shimatsu or Lord Shwema, you can be said to be a genius ninja, possessing power over tens of thousands of ninjas. Sarutobi's heart set off a stormy sea, and the wind is stronger than them. This is simply a genius among geniuses, no. Sarufe couldn't help but shook his head, the corners of his mouth raised, a wry smile appeared, and he said what was in his heart. Master Hefeng is as strong as a monster. Although the wind is smaller than the people present, he still has the identity of the grandson of the first generation of Naruto. Even Sarutobi Risen had to call him young master. Danzo and others have almost the same ideas as Sarutobi. Before encountering Hefeng, they didn't believe in innate theory, and they didn't think that bloodline could determine too many things. No matter how powerful a genius is, if he doesn't practice hard, he will also be annihilated by everyone. As a result, Hefeng became a living example, slapped them in the face severely. Make them have to believe. In this world, there are people who can crush all your efforts by talent. Hefeng has not participated in any training. Advertisement. Weird power is simply a discovery in his unconsciousness, and he has mastered this ability. This is confirmed by Master Shujian. Given his status and character, there is no need to say anything to panic. It is impossible to lie about this kind of thing. Even Sarutobi could feel that Lord Shwema was both shocked and excited. All eyes were focused on Hefeng, making him the focus of the moment. Envy, jealousy, and hatred. Various emotions are intertwined in Sarutobi and others. Phaegian didn't think there was anything wrong with Sarutobi's use of monsters to describe Japanese style. Don't talk about these little ghosts, even I feel like a monster with the strong wind. I was 7 years old. No, when I was 17, I'm afraid I couldn't even compare with a finger of the wind. But I soon felt something was wrong there. I'm the second generation Naruto successor, and I am in comparison with a grandson's kid. Fei Jian comforted herself in her heart. Of course, this is not the only emotion in the interlude. In addition, he is also happy physically and mentally. Look at the eyes of Sarutobi and the others looking at Hefeng. It feels like my own child took the Zongan exam, only he passed the exam and was promoted to Zonran. The children of other people's families can only cast envy and jealousy. Yes, it's almost like this in the intermission now. His grandson Hefeng is what people call the children of other people's families. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. What Sarutobi clan? What the Shimura clan? What goes to sleep family? What the Hyuga clan? What a family of autumn roads? What Mito gate? What to go to bed? Especially the Uchiha clan. Not as good as the people from my Thousand Hands family. Even though Sarutobi Rishi and others are disciples whom I love and value. But he still couldn't bear this excitement, and compared it with them. After all, everyone is more or less selfish. My own children, and so-called disciples. Can there be no distinction between near and far? Uchiha Madara, I really don't know what kind of expression you would look like when you see my grandson Kazuka if you were still alive. Fei Jian muttered to himself. On the contrary, it is a gentle breeze. Although his current body is only 7 years old, he is essentially a traverser. Before coming to this world, he lived in another world as an ordinary person for nearly 2 decades. It has suddenly become the focus of everyone, which makes Hefeng not used to it. I always feel a little uncomfortable. I'm just an ordinary 7-year-old kid. Advertisement. But Hefeng really won't handle this situation. I think it would be better to be humble at this time. But his words made Sarufe and the others even more embarrassed. Ordinary. Do you call this ordinary? Master Hefeng, shouldn't you have any misunderstandings about ordinary people? If you can use ordinary to describe, what are we? The tail of the crane. Is it a hindrance? This simple sentence seemed to bless the kanai of the critical strike attribute and pierced everyone's hearts. Heartbroken. But what makes them feel desperate is, of course they will not ignore this. Master Hefeng this year, only 7 years old. A 7-year-old monster with a terrifying talent. But what about them? Master it casually and master a certain ninjutsu, you will feel swelled, and you can't wait to show off in front of Lord Fagian and your friends right away. Want to hear compliments, praise. In contrast, Hefeng's humble character makes them extremely ashamed. Hefeng really didn't expect that if he only broke out a little chakra, it would make the situation like this. After all, isn't the strange power thing that can be used by precisely controlling chakra? Even Haruno Sakura and Zorina can learn. Doesn't anyone really find it difficult to learn strange power? However, this sentence in the wind did not say it in the end. Seeing the future bigwigs headed by Sarutobi Hizen, Hefeng really doesn't want to blow their emotions anymore. But their eyes still make them uncomfortable. This kind of attention, as if everyone is waiting for you to speak. It is not easy to adapt. So he changed the conversation and wanted to break the atmosphere. Can the survival exercise in the wild continue? The purpose of their walking into this dead forest is to train and grow. Instead of coming in for a picnic and chatting. And Hefeng has completely adapted to this kind of training. He hoped that the time could leave and let him continue training. Let everyone's attention return to dealing with the various crises of the dead forest. This way I won't get too much attention. But who knows? I couldn't help but stunned, and then smiled. Little devil, do you think this kind of exercise can help you improve? With your current strength, you can walk sideways in this forest. Zefeng. Chapter 12 Survival in the Wild was forced to end. Advertisement. The living environment on the battlefield is harsh and cruel. Especially under the world view of Naruto, ninja contests are often intelligence contests. But no one can intercept the information in advance. For example, during the period of Shippuden, Akatsuki's flying section. If you get his information ahead of time and send a few ninjutsu casually, you can kite to death by releasing ninjutsu remotely. The same is true on the battlefield. Without remote communication equipment, the ninja cannot confirm when the supporting troops will come. During the Second Ninja World War, Dashimaru almost killed Jiraiya, which is a good proof of this. The ninja can't grasp the enemy's movements in advance, whether they have ambushed traps and other issues. But, the mainstream of the ninja world now is peace. There is no way to train the disciples with real wars. That's why he thought of using field survival exercises to simulate war. So as to allow them to master the technical points of dealing with war. The first point is to replenish energy. Life is inseparable from water. All living things depend on water and food to ensure physical strength. Although the ninja will prepare dry food and water during the action, it is very likely that they will be trapped, or due to the continuation of the war, the food will not be able to be supplied. If you can master the survival skills in the wild at this time, you have an advantage. The second point is to learn to observe. When surviving in the wild, the most important thing is to cultivate an insight into nature. Although nature and humans do not have a language to communicate, they have a very close relationship with each other. For example, when Kakashi led the 7th squad to escort to Xena, Kakashi passed through the stagnant water on the ground and judged that a ninja was ambushing them. Because there was no rain during that time period, it is impossible for there to be standing water on the ground. In the same way, the hair of the snow rabbit is related to the growth environment, and it can be judged whether it is wild or artificially raised. If it is the latter, it means that there is a detective ninja nearby. The use of snow rabbits to confuse the line of sight is a common method of this type of ninja. The third and most critical point. Crisis response. There are a large number of aggressive beasts in the Death Forest, and their fighting power is not inferior to ordinary ninjas. Blindly wasting time to self-pity until the body and mind collapse will only make yourself lose the ability to analyze and judge. Good training and rich knowledge will bring confidence to the ninja and help it overcome negative emotions such as fear, despair, and boredom. These are the original intentions for arranging this exercise. But now, it only took less than an hour for Hefeng to get used to it. His keen sense of smell is like a professional hunter. Advertisement. The ability to observe seems to be innate. The most terrifying thing is that facing two behemoths, he just broke out of chakra and easily solved it. And the opponent is almost the most dangerous and terrifying beast in the Death Forest. Result. Spike. So what crisis is there for Hefeng in this forest? Since there is no crisis at all, then the crisis response will not be established. Boy, do you think this kind of survival exercise can improve you? The original intention of crisis response is to enable you to activate your physical potential at the moment of life and death, so that you can remain calm enough when you encounter a crisis again. Once you are in a panic, you can't think of the best solution. There was a slight pause in the door, and then his eyes fell on Xiaochun. This made her bow her head in shame. Xiaochun at this moment has obviously become a negative teaching material in the mouth of Fagian. It was because of her panic that she missed the opportunity to escape the danger zone. As a result, he and Hefeng were almost killed by two giant beasts. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. This is a very crucial point for the ninja. It's even more important than learning to observe and replenishing energy. Fagian said loudly, as if to remind Hefeng, and Sarutobi and others, to keep in mind what they had said. Sweeping everyone's reaction, I saw that they had memorized the main points they explained very seriously. The conversation suddenly changed. However, for you who can freely release strange power, there is no sense of crisis at all. Even the most powerful beast can be easily solved by your strange power. What else can threaten you? For you who have strange power and mastered the strange power, survival in the wild is not much different from a picnic. With your strength, you can walk sideways. Fagian explained to the Hefeng. The implication is that even if Hefeng wants to continue the exercise, It's just a waste of time. Although I don't want to admit it, with your strength, this field survival exercise has become meaningless. Of course I don't want to admit it. Who wants to admit that he has arranged a 10-day exercise training, and in less than an hour, because the participants are too strong, it has to be abandoned. Moreover, the other party is still a 7-year-old child. Especially in front of his own disciples, this made Fuji's face a little uncontrollable. But, for the present time, his mood is undoubtedly complicated. Advertisement. On the one hand, it is difficult to accept the training arranged by oneself and was eliminated by the participants in less than an hour. On the other hand, I am extremely proud of the talents Hefeng has. Who is Hefeng? My elder brother Senjujuma's grandson. That would be my grandson. It is my hope for the future of the Thousand Hands clan. At the age of 7, he mastered the strange power and easily eliminated his own exercise training. Looking at the entire ninja world, who can do it? Who can imitate? No, even when his eldest brother Senjuzuma was 7 years old, he never exaggerated it. It is impossible for the entire ninja world to find a second person. Indeed, as long as Master Hefeng breaks out a chakra when he is in danger, he can solve the beast that rushes up, and we don't need to do anything. Sarutobi took a deep breath, completely agreeing with Master Shuima's opinion. Yes, as long as there is a gentle breeze, they don't need to do anything. Hurry slowly, help the wind to save energy, pay attention to hydrating and eating. When he encountered a beast that was difficult to deal with, he broke out with a chakra, and it was done. Said it was a survival exercise in the wild. Becomes almost indistinguishable from wild appearance. And after experiencing all this, Sarutobi and the others still have any thoughts to continue training. They looked forward to this event for 3 months, prepared for 2 months, and simulated it for another month. A lot of design, deployment, and arrangement exercises were conducted. In less than an hour, he was eliminated by the wind. And he hadn't done any training before, and knew nothing about the content, let alone planned ahead. In contrast, Sarutobi and the others felt that they were no different from waste. It's not that they are too wasteful. Hefeng is too exaggerated, it completely transcends the realm of genius, and it is simply a monster in human skin. But now I have already thought about another thing. Brother, you must have never imagined how terrifying this kid Hefeng is. Fei Jian felt that if he told the eldest brother Zhu Jian what happened today, he will be stunned in shock. Chapter 13 I don't want face in Danzo. Advertisement. Although the survival exercise in the wild has no effect on Hefeng, it does not mean that he can stand on top of the ninja only by relying on strange power. The main reason that the beasts have no power to fight back in the face of the breeze is that they have no wisdom. They only know how to attack the enemy with brute force. But fighting between ninjas is another matter. When the chakra broke out in the breeze, the ninja was indeed inaccessible. But you can't keep exploding chakras for 24 hours, right? After all, the amount of chakras for a person is limited. I really want to deal with the breeze. Rely on deception. By sneak attack. It can be a way to beat the wind. Especially illusion. Illusion won't be completely immune because you have a huge chakra. And almost every village has ninjas who can perform illusions. Especially in the ninja world, there are ninjas who can use their eyes to perform illusion. The moment you stared at him, you were hit by an illusion. Become a fish that can be slaughtered. Physique, ninjutsu, illusion. The 3 major tips of ninja tactics must be fully developed. Over-reliance on strange power and neglect of training in other areas will only push Hefeng into the abyss of immortality. After serious consideration, a new training program came to mind. Hefeng, from now on, I will set a new training method for you. A new training method. Hefeng's eyes flashed with expectation. Just now, Hefeng took a look at his property panel. Host. Hefeng. Open black lens bracket power. 4 close black lens bracket open black lens bracket speed. 3 close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket physical strength. 6 close black lens bracket. Abilities. Chakra between columns LV1. After an hour of field training, the strength, speed, and physical strength of the breeze have all increased slightly. Since you can gain attributes during training, why doesn't Hefeng look forward to new training? After all, he is not really a 7-year-old kid. It's a traverser with the body of a 7-year-old. His mind is actually more mature than Sarutobi and others. Maybe his experience is not as rich as these people. Advertisement. But before he crossed, he was an out-and-out anime fan. He remembered that he had watched an anime called One Piece. There was a character called Ace, who had fought against the villain Blackbeard, and eventually lost to the other side. Hefeng was deeply impressed by what Blackbeard said at the time. Blackbeard. Ace, you rely too much on the power of the devil fruit and neglect physical exercise. It is impossible for you to defeat me like this. Although Hokage and pirates have different world views, some truths are the same. He can only obtain various abilities from the rewards of the punch card system. It may be chakra, ninjutsu, blood succession limits. But these will not directly increase physical strength. This unbalanced growth method, if developed in this way, is likely to appear. Someone threw a handful of kunai from 800 meters away, and the embarrassing situation of assassinating himself appeared. Although it sounds outrageous, it does not mean that there is no similar possibility. After thinking about it, Hefeng felt that it was necessary for him to continue his training. Weird power is a double-edged sword for you now. It will make you ignore many life and death crises. I started to explain, but it is often at the critical moment of life and death that you can activate your body's potential and allow you to grow in a real sense. Excessive dependence on strange power will only make you stand still, and eventually be surpassed by those ninjas who are not as good as you. So you need to abandon the use of monster power now. Read more at hotmtl novel.zi. Under no circumstances can you explode your chakra. Hefeng nodded thoughtfully when he heard Fuji's request. However, the next words in the interim still made Hefeng unexpected. Do not. It should be said that everyone was unexpected. And your next goal is to defeat Danzo without using strange power. Danzo. Hefeng was startled, his gaze turned to the man who still had two ordinary eyes. Danzo was stunned, and a lot of question marks popped up in his heart. Chakra owned by Hefeng is indeed terrifying. In this regard, Danzo was not only shocked in his heart, but also recognized the talent gap between himself and Hefeng. Can't catch up, out of reach. But, if you don't consider the strange power of the gentle wind, you will far exceed the gentle wind in all other aspects. After all, Hefeng is only 7 years old, and the experience of fighting ninjas is basically zero. On the other hand, I already have the strength of Zongren. There is a gap in age and experience, but it is there. Master Feijian, let me be the opponent of Master Hefeng, is this something wrong? Advertisement. Tuan Zhang reminded in a low voice. Master Shuma, I know you are happy because of your natural talent, but you shouldn't think about practical issues. A 7-year-old child, no matter how terrifying his talent, abandons his greatest advantage to challenge a Zongren. This kind of thing is too ridiculous. Of course not to let Hefeng challenge you now. He paused, this is just Hefeng's next goal. There is a time limit for this goal. That's it. Danzo suddenly realized, with his gentle talent, insisting on training for a year or two, catching up with him, and reaching the level of Zhong Ren is not surprising. However, I have worked hard for nearly 10 years, but have been caught up by the 1-year training of the breeze. The thought of this possibility made Danzo feel uncomfortable. Why should there be geniuses in this world? Hefeng, I'll give you half a month, and within half a month, defeat Danzo. He said in a whisper. In his view, since it is a gentle wind, it is still a big challenge to defeat Danzo in half a month without using strange power. Danzo, not a year or two, but half a month. Master Feijian, am I weak in your heart? Hefeng is only 7 years old. Not only Danzo, even Sarutobi and others couldn't help but take a breath. The words of Master Feijian mean that he really thinks that Hefeng might catch up with Danzo in half a month. Even if there is Master Shujian personally instructing the wind in the next half month, this incident is shocking enough to the world. Hefeng, don't think that Tuanzang is weak. After all, your age and combat experience are there. You can't be Danzo's opponent right now. Feijian emphasized with a serious face, in his opinion. Even if the piece is lost, there will be great gains. If it's true, no, it should not be possible, half a month is too short. And the strange power of Hefeng has been disabled. How could it be possible to catch up with Danzo in half a month? Suddenly, he was full of expectations for Hefeng's future performance. Hefeng smiled and looked at Danzo. The age gap, experience gap. Non-existent. Do you really think that you can only break out of this trick by chakra? After the first punch-in is completed, the system enters the cooling time. According to calculations, the next check-in can be done in about 12 hours. Unless you have become a non-chief from the European Emperor. Otherwise, holding the plug-in and losing to Danzo, I can really find a rope to hang myself. Chapter 14. What are you comparing to hanging? Advertisement. With the announcement of the door, this field survival exercise came to an end. Everyone left the death forest together. Sarutobi and Danzo were feeling a little lost. Especially Danzo, he never dreamed that he would become the target that Hefeng would defeat in an instant. Master Feijian would even say that Hefeng would defeat himself in half a month. Do you really think I don't want face in Danzo? Moody. But leaving the death forest means that they are in a safe area. After briefly explaining some trivial matters, he bid farewell to Hefeng and others. Don't mention how excited he is now, how excited he is. In fact, this mood is easy to understand. As soon as I heard that my child had taken the first place in the school in the exam, as a parent, I would be so happy that I wanted to brag about it when I met an acquaintance. Oh, what a coincidence, I ran into you here, so what? My child got the first place in the school in the exam. I will take him to eat something delicious. What if you can't meet someone you know? Of course I took the initiative to find it. Thousands of hands, who has always been cold, can't wait to give notice of Hefeng's talent in the death forest from house to house. What Uchiha, Sarutobi, Shimura, Hyuga, let you know how amazing my grandson is. But Sarutobi and the others watched the door go further and further, before sighing in a complicated mood. Half a month's time. Sarutobi and Jing said in unison, their eyes focused on Danzo. Xiaochun and Yan, and Feng also have similar eyes. This look is like saying, Danzo, you are our hope for this year, we must work hard, we must struggle, don't lose. Although Master Hefeng is indeed a rare monster genius in a century, you have the advantage of age and experience. Looking at the general idea revealed in everyone's eyes, Danzo felt every cell in his body roaring. Enough for you guys. This feeling makes Danzo very upset. Hefeng is only 7 years old now. This means that in the fight against Hefeng, it is only natural to win him, but if he is beaten by the storm, then his face can be. Do not. Advertisement. Danzo shook his head vigorously, like a rattle. He is Konoha's Zongan anyhow, what is going on when a 7-year-old kid is violent? And this idea was outrageous from the beginning. Master Hefeng. After some inner activities, Danzo couldn't help but stop the Hefeng who was about to go back. Hearing Danzo's voice, Hefeng turned and looked at the future root leader. What's the matter, Danzo? Hefeng asked. Thinking of the future dominance of Konoha's roots and the other gods who had seized Shishui, the Itachi had to slaughter the tribe's Guoying Tuanzang, and respectfully called himself young master. Is this the treatment of the strongest relationship households? Danzo and the wind face each other, the former took a deep breath, his eyes firm, as if he had made a lot of determination. Master Hefeng, don't blame me for not explaining in advance, I will do my best to fight against you. If you have the idea that I will release the water, I advise you to dispel this idea as soon as possible. Even if Hefeng is only 7 years old, Danzo does not want to lose to him. This is related to the face of their graduated ninja. Especially my face. Pouch. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Hefeng looked at Danzo with a look of surprise, feeling a little funny in his heart. Not because of his determination, but, big brother Danzo, who gave you the courage to say the word, shui? Liang Jingru. It is good to have confidence and determination. But you can't be blindly confident. As long as you are happy. Hefeng waved his hand, turned and left here, his head was full of Danzo's serious expression. You know, I am not only Konoha's strongest relationship. There is also the blood of the European emperor, and the plug-in. Even if you give Danzo 100 more years, there is no way to compare with yourself. Little brother Tuanzang, do you think you are comparing with someone of blood? You're competing with someone who opened the hook. Will not release water yet. You should beg me to release the sea. Advertisement. After half a month, Danzo found that his efforts were meaningless in front of his plug-in. I really don't know what his expression will be. It's really exciting. In this way, under the watchful eyes of Sarutobi and others, Hefeng drifted away. Danzo sighed in relief when he was not here at the door. Don't know why, Danzo actually feels a little unsure in his heart. Mirror, Xiaochun, Yan, take the wind, the next half a month. Danzo turned around and solemnly said to his friends, please accompany me in actual combat training. Sarutobi and Kagami exchanged glances. Although the object of Hefeng's challenge this time is Danzo, if Hefeng wins, it will not be Danzo's face. But having said that, Master Hefeng shouldn't be able to catch up with such a big gap in half a month. But as soon as the mirror spoke, he felt that something was wrong with him. This kind of thing should be taken for granted, what he actually used was not an affirmative sentence, but a question sentence. At the same time, Fei Jiangxing hurried back to the Hokage building. This is not only the office of Hokage, but also the home of Hokage. Brother Zujian is resting at home. There was only intense excitement in her heart, and then she pushed the door open. But I saw that my eldest brother Zuma was doing something with his sister-in-law Mito. Since Zujian was diagnosed with a terminal illness, all the affairs of the village have been handed over to Fujian. Although he is not the second-generation Hokage in name, he has the reality of the second-generation Hokage. The pillars are enjoying their old life as they should. Besides, I have been fighting for Ninja Village and peace for most of my life. Now enjoy what's wrong with it. Cough cough. He cleared his throat and turned his gaze to the side. When Mito got off the pillar room and ran to prepare the fruits, the door room closed the door. Of course, Mito was actually stepping on his back between the columns to help him relax. What's wrong? Shouldn't you be supervising this field survival exercise in the Death Forest now? Zhu Jian said. The survival exercise is over. It's over. Isn't it 10 days? It's less than 2 hours now, right? Is it the wind? The pillar suddenly sat up from the sofa, and couldn't help worrying whether it was an accident with the wind. Accident. Humph. If Hefeng survives in the Death Forest for 10 days, he might razor half of the Death Forest to the ground. Suddenly, his eyes lighted up and his tone became excited. You must never imagine what an incredible thing happened just now in the Death Forest. Chapter 15. Enough time. Please don't brag about my grandson. Advertisement. Brother, our grandson Hefeng is an out-and-out genius. No, it's a genius among geniuses, just like a monster. I couldn't bear the excitement in my heart, and praise the wind in this way. Usually outside, he has to maintain his cold and majestic image. Only in front of the pillars can he relax. Coupled with the genius of the Japanese style, it shocked the world and made him a little bit incoherent with excitement. After all, after the eldest brother Zujian, the Chinsho clan began to go downhill. It feels like there is 1 stone for 1,000 hands, 9 battles between the pillars, 3 battles between the pillars, and 2 battles for the remaining 1,000 hands. The eldest brother's son, Mu Jian, has no ninja talent. He neither inherits the eldest brother's Mu escape secret technique, nor does he use strange powers. Not to have Naruto thinking. No matter how you train it, Mujian's promotion to Shangnan will almost end. If he is allowed to inherit the position of Hokage, it will not only be difficult to convince the public, but will cause Konoha to split internally. When dealing with external problems, they may not have enough capacity. The other tribesmen of the Thousand Hands clan are not much better. In desperation, Fujian had to train Sarutobi Hizen to serve as the next Hokage. You know, the door room is not as noble as the pillar room. Absolute power is of course more reliable in your own hands. The fact that Uchiha Madara served as Hokage was proposed by Zuma, and his full opposition proved this. The display of the Japanese-style talent is as excited as Columbus has discovered the New World. Wait a minute, between. What is a genius, monster? What did Hefeng do in the Death Forest? Facing the lack of beginning and end, Zhu Jian only felt inexplicable. However, in Zhu Jian's heart, he became very interested in the wind. That's my own grandson. It wasn't until this moment that Feijian realized that he was incoherent. He took a deep breath, adjusted his mentality, and then recounted what happened in the Death Forest. How did he wind adapt to survival in the wild? How to get into danger? And in the end, the chakra broke out in the breeze, killing the beast that even Sarutobi could not easily solve. I have to say that this process sounds like a fantasy in the pillars. Chakra broke out. Kill 2 beasts weighing more than 20 tons. Advertisement. Not to mention that I was 7 years old, even when I was 15, I couldn't do such a thing. When I was 15, I was playing with Madara in the river. When? The mood between the pillars fell instantly. Big brother, aren't you jealous of gentleman's talent? Can't help but vomit. No, how come? It's just that you are too exaggerated. The column paused. Hefeng is only 7 years old, and he has not received any guidance. Suddenly mastered the strange power. This kind of talent is too amazing, right? Although the pillars seemed shocked and surprised on the surface. But what I thought in my heart was, really deserved to be my grandson between the pillars. You now know why I use genius, monster to describe the gentle style, right? He clenched his fists with both hands, a ray of light radiated from his eyes. I can guarantee that in less than 10 years, the breeze will be Hokage. There was a sound in the air. Just when there was no hope for the Senju clan, the gentle breeze appeared. Whether it is talent, calm personality, strong adaptability, and majestic chakra volume, they all meet the requirements of the Naruto successor. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. It can even be said that there is nothing worse than it is. Efforts can determine the lower limit of a ninja. But chakra measurement is such a thing. If you have it, you don't have it. No matter how you exercise it the day after tomorrow, it is impossible to make chakras become chakra. In other words, the amount of chakra determines the upper limit of the ninja's strength. I had some expectations for Sarutobi Hizen before because his chakra volume was much exaggerated than his peers. But now, if you compare the chakra amount of Sarutobi Hitobi to the creek where the pillar and Madara meet, then the amount of chakra owned by Hefeng, it's a vast ocean. Feijian, please calm down first. Zhu Jian couldn't help interrupting Fuji's speech. Whether it is the description in the fascination, or his expectation of the gentle style. Both shocked the pillars. My younger brother who usually only has a facial paralysis face has so many expression changes today. I heard it right, right. Become Hokage within 10 years. Hefeng is only 7 years old. A shocked and dull stare appeared between the pillars. Advertisement. Hefeng is only 7 years old. Even if the gentle breeze is really as powerful as the saying goes. It can't change the fact that he is only 7 years old this year. 10 years later, Hefeng is only 17 years old. A 17-year-old Hokage. How is this possible? You know, Hokage's appointment requires not only the approval of Konoha's senior officials and the villagers, also get the recognition of the daimyo. In any case, Shinobu village is dependent on the daimyo. Shinobu is in charge of the military. The daimyo is responsible for politics and economics. Without the financial support provided by the daimyo, Shinobu will be unable to do so in many things. When I recommended Uchiha Madara by myself, my daimyo was the biggest resistance. A 17-year-old Hokage. Daming would not agree. Hokage looks at not only strength, but also various factors, especially the daiming level. Although Zuma was shocked and happy with the talent of Japanese style, the fact that he became Hokage at the age of 17 is still too exaggerated. But this has a lot to do with personality. Zhu Jian has a powerful strength that he doesn't have, but he doesn't have his strong character. In addition to caring about Daming's feelings, he even kowtows to other shadows whose strength is not as good as his. And those shadows didn't even dare to put a fart in front of Uchiha Madara. If it weren't for the character of a good old man between the pillars, I'm afraid Ninja World could be directly unified in his time. No, brother, you misunderstood what I meant. Shu Jian shook his head. His character is much stronger than that of Zhu Jian. In the original plot, he appointed Sarutobi as Hokage in a word, and he didn't even consider the feelings of the daimyo. I'll just say, Hokage, 17 years old, is too exaggerated. The pillar patted his thigh. However, Zuma just felt that his age was too exaggerated, and he took it for granted that Hefeng inherited Hokage. According to Zhu Jian's understanding of the daimyo, it would take Hefeng to be around 24 years old before they would allow Hefeng to serve as Hokage. However, the next words in Fei Jian directly caused Zhu Jian to be stunned. I'm talking about less than 10 years, not necessarily 10 years. There was a pause in his tone. In other words, Hefeng is likely to be enough to hold the position of Hokage when he is 16, 15, or even 14. Between the columns. Chapter 16. Come and burn your youth with me. Advertisement. Lean back between the pillars. What is Hokage within the age of 17? Although I don't know why Feijian had such an exaggerated evaluation of Hefeng, this incident completely subverted Zhu Jian's cognition. This means that Hefeng is entirely possible to become Hokage at the age of 16 or 15. And what is the 15-year-old self doing? We are fighting with Madara Uchiha and discussing their future and ideals together. At that time, I was just an ordinary child among the thousand hands. That year, Uchiha Madara also started writing round eyes, still 2 and 1 Guyu. In fact, it's no wonder that after seeing Hefeng's talent, people like Feijian and others behaved as if they had never seen the world before. But, the growth rate of ninjas in this era is not that exaggerated. Whether it's between the pillars or the spots, they all emerged in adulthood. Under the same age, between the pillars, spot. Isn't it better? He lowered his head slightly, put his right elbow in his left hand, placed the index and middle fingers of his right hand in front of his forehead, thinking and saying, I just don't know if Hefeng has inherited the eldest brother's wooden escape technique. Although I hope that Hefeng can be inherited along with the Mudden secret art, but it doesn't matter if there isn't. Just relying on the chakra volume and talent of the gentle breeze, it was enough to make him stand on top of the ninja world. After all, what my second grandpa is best at is to invent ninjutsu. For example, there is a multiple shadow avatar technique that is listed as a forbidden technique. It is very suitable for ninjas with huge chakras like Japanese style. There is also his own technique of flying thunder god. Sooner or later, these are treasures to be passed on to the Japanese style. However, I know the truth that haste can't be achieved. These powerful ninjutsu is not something that can be accomplished overnight. At present, the most suitable practice for gentle wind is actually physical exercises. After shocking the pillars and not wanting them, Feijian left the Hokage building. In any case, the day of the battle between Hefeng and Danzo is half a month later. During this time, Hefeng should design a training plan. But in Feijian's heart, there is already a suitable candidate. Advertisement. When the door was closed, Mito cut the fruit and brought it to the coffee table. She heard the conversation between the door and the column just now. And Mito knows this little uncle very well. It seems that Hefeng is really an incredible talent for making Feijian so confident. Otherwise, I would never come here deliberately and behave in such a gaffe. Although Mito did not enter the Konoha high-rise, he played the role of a housewife, taking care of the daily life of the pillar room. But before marrying Zujian, she cannot be underestimated. She has her own unique insights on ninja, shinobu, and cage. Can this calm and steady man in Feijian be so excited, and even believe that it must be Hokage within 10 years of peace? This is enough to show the excellence of the Japanese style. I'm really looking forward to it. Uzumaki Mito's cheeks glowed red, and the duck-legged duck sat between the pillars, with slender, white fingers resting on his shoulders. Ha ha ha, a Hokage who is less than 17 years old is really looking forward to. Between the pillars nodded, laughed and said, his face was full of pride. As if to say that the Japanese breeze is so powerful, it doesn't look at whose genes it inherited. Such a powerful gene, don't you consider cultivating another one? Little Ayako is pregnant with a second child. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Mito deliberately lowered his voice, exerting his upper body slightly. Facing the woman with the strongest tail beast sealed in her body, the pillars, known as the god of ninjas, could hardly resist. Finally lay flat on the sofa. Senjujuma, Konoha's first Hokage, accept the challenge. At the same time, Jian hurriedly left the Hokage building without directly looking for Hefeng. Instead, he found another ninja. His name is Metbi. Neither good at ninjutsu nor illusion. Only in the field of physical skills, there is a very good side. He is the best candidate to guide and practice physical skills. Moreover, physique is not as time-consuming as ninjutsu and illusion, and it can enhance the physical fitness of Hefeng. With the strange power of the Thousand Hands clan, it may be possible to solve the enemy with just one punch. In addition, the technique of Flying Thunder God is not a forbidden technique. It will definitely be taught to Hefeng in the future. Flying Thunder God plus strange power plus body surgery. It is a fighting method designed for the Japanese style. Advertisement. In other words, Jian is actually planning to cultivate the harmony from the most basic link. After explaining his intentions with Medbo, he asked someone to find a gentle breeze. The three came to the field training ground together. He is Madbo, the Zongren in the village. Feijian introduced to Hefeng. Although Madbo's physical skills are quite good, he is not good at ninjutsu and illusion, which makes him helpless when facing some tasks. But if you just underestimate Materby based on Zhang Ren's point, that would be a big mistake. Feijian emphasized earnestly. However, the surname of Mat. Hefeng couldn't help whispering the surname in his heart. Mat is not a family in Konoha village. Combined with the guy in front of him wearing a tight-fitting green uniform. Hefeng's mind couldn't help but think of two people, Mad Dai and Mat Kai. The former 8 gates singled out the 7 ninja swords. The latter almost kicked out the finale in 8. Hello, my name is Hefeng. Hefeng showed a polite smile. However, since Meterbo has been arranged to guide him, it means that in the next half-month, he will have to train in physical skills. The thought of spending more than an hour in the dead forest improves his physical data. After half a month, maybe the body strength can be brushed to the middle or even upper level. I just don't know if Madbo will teach him the 8 art of evasion. After all, he is the strongest person. Master Hefeng, hello. Madbo stretched out his thumb, with a kind smile on his face. I don't know if it is an illusion of harmony. As Medbo showed a smile, his white teeth seemed to shine. Is this adding any special effects? I heard that Mr. Materbo's physical skills are very good, so in the next half-month, please give me more advice. Hefeng said politely. Hefeng's performance is remarkable in the beginning, and he has such a talent that he has completely conceded capital. However, Hefeng did not assume a superior attitude in the face of a Zhang Ren like Madbo. On the contrary, Politeness is good, which is actually an excellent embodiment. Haha, my physique is only just getting started, and it's far inferior to Master Phaegian, but since I'm a gentleman, I will naturally give it all. Then, in the next time, burn your youth with me. First of all, skip rope, 5,000 times. Zefeng. Chapter 17 Second Time Punch. Advertisement. If you want to master powerful physical skills, you must have a strong physique. While talking happily, Madbo took out 2 skipping ropes from the ninja bag, and then threw one of them to Hefeng. First of all, 5,000 jump ropes. Medbo's training method is simple and rude. Rope skipping can not only improve cardiorespiratory function, but also exercise leg muscles, wrist strength, and improve jumping ability. Long beating can exercise endurance, and rapid beating can increase explosive power. Medbo said with joy, considering that Hefeng is only 7 years old this year, this kind of easy skipping rope is very suitable for him. However, Hefeng looked at the skipping rope in his hand with a black line on his face. It's not that 5,000 skipping ropes are too much, but that this training method is too simple. If there is no 1 hour in the Death Forest exercise, he may find it challenging to skip 5,000 ropes. But, after going through the survival exercises in the Dead Forest, and then going back to the challenge of 5,000 rope skipping, it seems too pediatric. This is like asking a junior high school student who ranks first in the school to do elementary school math problems. Not to mention the harvest, it is a waste of time. If you skip rope for 5,000 consecutive times, your attribute panel may not change at all. Medbo noticed Hefeng's expression, thinking he was questioning his abilities. After all, Hefeng was only 7 years old this year, and suddenly challenged 5,000 skipping ropes or something. It's normal to feel that I can't do it. Often this kind of moment should be encouraged. Ha ha ha. Madbo let out a hearty laugh. Master Hefeng, as long as you persist, your physical fitness will become stronger and stronger. Then, suddenly, the smile on Madbo's face disappeared, replaced by an unprecedented sense of seriousness. I'm optimistic, Master Hefeng, this is the result of my unremitting efforts made by Medbo. Accompanied by a loud shout from Medbo, he directly opened the first door of the 8 doors of Dunjia art. Open the door, open. I saw Madbo grabbing a fist with 5 fingers, raising it high, and then falling quickly, straight to the grass under his feet. Boom. A loud noise exploded, and the ground under Madbo's feet cracked, like a spider web-like crack, spreading to the feet of the gentle breeze in the door. The diameter of the crack is at least about 5 meters. Advertisement. This is just the effect of opening the door. Even the room on the side frowned subconsciously. The reason why he chose Madbo to be the physique teacher of Hefeng is because of his hard work on physique. This effort allowed him to master the 8 techniques of Dunjia. Strictly speaking, this technique is actually a kind of conjecture inspired by the strange power of 1,000 hands. Since the essence of 1,000 hands monster power is to precisely control chakra, then cover the whole body, and finally burst out. Then, can you use the chakra reverse operation to break through the restrictions in the body, thereby unlocking the shackles of the human body channel on the chakra? Eventually achieve a more powerful force. However, after careful study of the 8 doors Dunjia art, it was discovered that after opening this restriction, it would cause damage to the body. If you want to reduce the damage caused by the 8 doors Dunjia art, you can only exercise your body desperately and make your body's muscles strong enough to withstand this backlash. If it cannot be passed on to later generations, it will lose the meaning of creation. In the end, he discovered Medbo, who was neither good at ninjutsu nor illusion. In order to prove that he can be a good ninja, he conducts devilish training every day. Over time, his physical strength far exceeds that of his peers. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. This method of breaking through the limits of the human body time and time again makes him the most suitable person to use the 8 doors Dunjia art. Feijian's original idea was to let Medbo pass this training method to Hefeng. Let him have a strong enough body. However, what I didn't expect was Medbo will actually show the 8 techniques of evasion on the first day of training. Of course, a lot of it is because of Hefeng's identity. He is the grandson of the original Hokage-sama. That is, the grandson of Lord Feijian. Master Feijian is also the teacher who taught him the 8 techniques of Dunjia. Now it is natural and reasonable to teach the 8 doors Dunjia art to Hefeng. Have you seen, Master Hefeng, this is the strength gained by focusing on physical exercise. Medbi paused, spreading out his hands and further instilling this knowledge. The technique I just used is called the 8 doors Dunjia art. As the name suggests, every time a layer of restriction in the body is unlocked, since it is a door, it will gain a powerful force. The punch just now is only the effect of the first door. Once the 5th door is opened, Duman, just moving is enough to drive the air and lift the ground. Medbo said with great pride. Advertisement. I have to say that on the first day of training, I witnessed the legendary 8 doors Dunjia art, which he never expected. But this will not change his mind. Mr. Medbi, I am not questioning your training method, I just think, this training method is too simple. Medbo, I don't know how Master Feijian told you, but I just came out of the Death Forest, and the survival exercises there have not improved me much. Hefeng sighed helplessly. Doesn't anyone really think that skipping 5,000 times is difficult, right? The gentle remark stunned Materby. What does it mean? No one really thinks it's hard to skip 5,000 times, right? When I first started training, my goal of 500 skipping ropes failed to complete. This is what Master Feijian said. Master Hefeng is a rare genius, so he only increased his exercise volume 10 times. The result is in Hefeng's eyes, that's it. That's it. And what's the matter with the Death Forest? Isn't that a difficult exercise that only Zongren can participate in? Why would he let a 7-year-old kid like Hefeng participate? Thinking of this, Madab turned his head and looked at the door. 5,000 rope skipping is really too simple. After thinking about it, I feel that this training method is indeed a little simple for the current Japanese style. These remarks were like a bolt from the blue for Medber. Is this the so-called super genius? At the same time, Hefeng's mind sounded the voice of the clocking system. The cooling time of the check-in system is over. Close black lens bracket. Please confirm with the host, do you check in? Close black lens bracket. Is it possible to punch the card for the second time? I don't know what good things can be obtained this time. The first time you check in, you get a good thing like, chakra between pillars. A European emperor like himself will never get worse the second time, right? Hefeng took a deep breath and confirmed in his mind. Check in successfully. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations to the host for getting the punch-in package. Close black lens bracket. Whether to open. Close black lens bracket. Chapter 18 I would like to exchange Uchiha Madara's 10-year lifespan for a European emperor bloodline. Advertisement. Hefeng imagined countless possibilities. Powerful ninjutsu such as the technique of Flying Thunder God, the technique of Wood Escape, writing round eyes, reincarnating eyes and so on. This is a decisive step. Hefeng's heart began to feel anxious. Whether he has European emperor blood or not is just his guess. This attribute is not written on the panel after all. Although I got a good thing like, chakra between pillars, the first time, no one can say what I will get the second time. Suddenly downgraded from the European emperor to the non-chief. It is not impossible. The most important thing is that what you get out of the gift pack this time will determine whether you can defeat Danzo. If you take out a horrible fireball technique, then play a fart. And my check-in system is neither a daily check-in nor a place check-in. According to the previous check-in, the system will enter the cooling time after completing a check-in. During this period, the clock-in system will turn gray in my mind, and there will be no response no matter how I touch it. Hefeng muttered to himself in his heart, then took a deep breath and adjusted his mentality. I would like to exchange Uchiha Madara's 10-year lifespan for a European emperor bloodline. Hefeng suddenly became metaphysical, and then quickly opened the gift pack. The emperor is still a non-chief. Victory in one fell swoop. Check-in package is open. Close black lens bracket. Various kinds of ninjutsu, blood succession bound, various chakras flashed in front of the wind. It reminded him of the experience of opening a magic box in a DNF. The auditory hallucination of 500 again reverberated in my ears. Open black lens bracket snapped. Close black lens bracket. The picture freezes, and the dazzling white light makes Hefeng unable to see what he has drawn. Congratulations to the host, get the 8 Doors Dunjia Art LV5 from the check-in package. Close black lens bracket. As the white light dissipated, the gentle breeze stood on the spot. Then, inner ecstasy. This is the 8-door repelling technique. In the entire Naruto worldview, this is almost the top physique. In addition, due to the user's talent, the 8 doors of Dunjia art will have a huge gap. For example, Mad Day's 8 gates only kicked 4 of the 7 Ninto swords to death. And Medakai's 8 door, but Uchiha Madara is hard on the front. But speaking of Uchiha Madara, the lifespan is only 10 years, so Madara shouldn't care about it. I have a clock-in system. As long as I keep clocking in, I can become stronger and stronger. Advertisement. The mood of the wind is very exciting. He had planned to learn the 8 techniques of evasion from Madbo. After all, the check-in package is a lottery mechanism. The rewards inside are countless. It is also possible that after drawing for 10 consecutive years, there is no chance of seeing the 8 doors of Dunjia art. But now, Hefeng doesn't need the guidance of Medbo. Because he got rid of those tedious learning steps in an instant, and he became a master of the 8-door Dunjia art directly. But there is one thing that makes the Japanese style more concerned. Host. Hefeng. Open black lens bracket power. 4 close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket speed. 3 close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket physical strength. 6 close black lens bracket. Abilities. Chakra between pillars LV1, 8 doors Dunjia art LV5. The chakra between the pillars is only LV1, and the 8-door Dunjia art is LV5. This reminded him again of the DNF that he had played before, the game's skill setting. Some skills can be mastered at LV1, and some skills require LV30 to achieve mastery. I don't know if this is the case with chakra between pillars and the art of 8-door Dunjia. Or in other words, there are higher level chakras between the pillars, but I didn't draw them. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Hefeng shook his head, simply not thinking about it. Because I can't think of one, even if I think about it, I will worry about it. And after he draws the reward, the punch-in system enters the cooling time as before, and the progress bar moves more slowly than last time. It seems that the cooling time has a superimposed effect. During the cooling period, no matter what the wind does, it will not react, let alone answer his doubts. It is a thorough tool. But one thing is certain. Rewards drawn from the check-in package. Neither practice nor precipitation is needed. Master in an instant, master it. The same as the last time, when the chakra between the columns was obtained, the gentle breeze formed a muscle memory. In the face of a crisis, bursting out strange power is as simple as breathing. The knowledge and application of the eight-door Dunjia technique flooded his mind like a river rushing to the sea, and spread all over his body. Eventually form muscle memory, as if born with it. This feeling makes Hefeng feel very strange. In a blink of an eye, he became a veritable physique master. I understand. The 8 doors Dunjia Art LV5 refers to my understanding of how to use the door from opening the door to the door. In other words, the current limit of Hefeng is the 5th gate, Duman. Infer this logic. Advertisement. The mastery of the 8 doors Dunjia Art should be LV8. Although he was a little sorry that he did not directly master the 8 sects, the 5 sects were enough for him to deal with Danzo. You know, the current Danzo is only at the level of forbearance, and hasn't transplanted messy things. And what is the concept of Duman? During the Zongnan exam, Shaoli in Duman state, but Gara beat me violently. That's human Zuli from Cheyenne village. No matter how strong Danzo is it more powerful than others? Compete. In the battle between Shaoli and Gara, let alone Zhang Ren, even Shang Ren had to tactically fall back when he saw it. What is a physical genius? What is Renjuli? And now I am undoubtedly more talented and stronger than Shaoli. The so-called chakra is nothing but a kind of energy produced by the perfect fusion of mental power and physical power. The self who owns the chakra between the pillars can reversely strengthen the body's strength. Hefeng used this method to adapt to the speed of Sarutobi and others during the exercise in the Death Forest. In contrast, Hefeng has enough confidence to rub Danzo on the ground. Joke. If you can't beat Danzo even after opening the plugin, you can find a piece of noodles and hang yourself. Thinking of this, Hefeng feels surging. I can't wait to find Danzo now. Anyway, this duel is not much different from playing 9 tails between the pillars. Even Hefeng began to feel. Will you be a little bully? After all, that guy Danzo doesn't seem to have any talent for fighting. Huwu stabbed Susao. Such famous scenes were done. Master Shujian. Hefeng turned his head to look at the door, and interrupted Medbo's training and teaching. Although Feijian is his second grandfather, it is better to be more formal in front of outsiders. Moreover, Hefeng still couldn't adapt to this kind of grandpa who suddenly appeared. Hefeng, this training method is indeed a bit boring, but as long as you stick to it, you will get huge gains. I thought that Hefeng was not interested in this kind of basic training, so I taught with earnest words. But who knows? Can the duel with Danzo start sooner? I don't think it takes half a month. And just in the middle of a certain crack in hell, when the 8 doors Dunjia art was hit by the wind extraction. A lonely old man who was cultivating interpillar cells suddenly sneezed. Ah, autumn. Chapter 19. I want to fight Danzang right now. Advertisement. Early the next morning, he went straight to the exercise field after eating breakfast. After a night of rejuvenation, Hefeng felt that the whole person was full of energy. In a short while, he came to the exercise field. What Hefeng didn't expect was that Madbo had been waiting here for a long time. 996, 997, 998, 999, 1000. When Materbo completed 1,000 push-up challenges, he got up and gave a thumbs up to the wind, and his white teeth flashed dazzlingly. Today I will burn my youth too. Hefeng showed a polite smile, and couldn't help but complain, it's really from the Mat family. I have traveled to the world of Naruto for more than a year, and I have never seen Konoha at 4 o'clock in the morning. How terrible is a self-disciplined ninja? Just look at the people at Mat's house. Let's start today's training challenge. First of all, 500 squats. In Madbo's eyes, 500 squats are just a warm-up. Very suitable for the current Japanese style. But at this moment, Shinsho was long overdue. Master Feijian. Medbo stopped his movements and greeted Feijian. As the inventor of the Shadow Avatar, you only need to leave the Shadow Avatar to handle daily affairs. Thanks to the monitor of the peace agreement between the pillars. Without war, Hokage's work is easier. However, he suffered from an incurable and terminal illness. According to the inference, his life expectancy is several years at most. Once the ninja god between the pillars is gone, the settled ninja village will surely reignite the flames of war. Every time I think about this, I feel a pressure. Until Hefeng showed a talent different from ordinary people. This makes a kind of dawn, a kind of future, seen in Zhangjian. Especially for those of them who have experienced the warring states period. Peace is undoubtedly the best yearning in this world. Bo, gentle, early. Good morning, Master Feijian. Hefeng responded with a smile, and then changed the conversation. Can you compete with Danzo today? For the current Hefeng, he can't wait to fight Danzo. This is like drawing a very powerful SSSSSSR, and you will definitely feel like you want to sling other players. Danzo is that player. Advertisement. What competition? Can't help but startled. Huh, Master Feijian forgot. I didn't think there was any need to wait for half a month for the incident I told you yesterday. The gentle breeze paused for a while, his expression revealing extremely powerful confidence. The current me is enough to defeat Danzo. Frozen on the spot. Hefeng did say this thing yesterday, but the time at that time didn't care about it. Danzo is not only a middle ninja, but also an elite of the middle ninja class. Regardless of how he is now, he is sure that there will be some achievements in the future Danzo. Become a great Konoha ninja. After all, I am 1,000 hands. The ability to see people is much better than that of eldest brother Zujian. From the beginning, Jian didn't feel that Hefeng energy defeated Danzo. It can even be said that from the beginning, he didn't think he had a chance of winning. Hefeng's talent is indeed terrifying, strong like a monster. But his advantage is only a thousand-handed monster power, and he was banned by himself. The reason for setting the goal for the second half of the month is to inspire Hefeng. Allow him to train hard during this time, devote all his energy and concentrate on doing one thing. The more he tried his best, the more he was defeated in front of Danzo. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi, the more he can stimulate his fighting spirit, and let him practice harder in the future until he catches up with Danzo one day. This is a deliberate plan in between. But now, Zhangjian was shocked by the gentle breeze again. Only one day has passed. Hefeng proposed to challenge Danzo. And his expression is so serious and so confident. Are you really going to wait for the half-month deadline? Asked in surprise. Yesterday, Hefeng was training by Medbo, and he was beside him. Hefeng did work very hard and performed very well. The content that can be trained is just a doubling of the number of basic training. For example, 1000 push-ups, 1000 sit-ups, 1000 squats, and 100 kilometers running. Combat experience. Physical skills. No contact like the wind. Where did he get the confidence that he thought he could play against Danzo? I really can't figure this out. Why do I have to wait for the first half month? Hefeng shook his head, a trace of confusion appeared on his face. Advertisement. Now I can challenge Danzo. Or, Master Phagian thought I was joking with you yesterday. Aphasia for a while, because he really didn't know what to say. Zefeng's eyes are piercing, exuding strong confidence. From this 7-year-old kid, there is no sense of arrogance, or a high-spirited mentality. Is he really sure to defeat Danzo? But only training for one day. I was puzzled by it, but I also had expectations for the breeze. Go find Danzo. He didn't even know how long he had been silent before he separated his lips and decided to see where the self-confidence of Hefeng this kid came from. At this moment, Metbi was taken aback. Master Phagian, do you really want the Japanese style to challenge Danzo? Metke dilated the pupils of his eyes. He did not even dream that he would agree to the rude request of a 7-year-old child. For Danzang, Matbo knows something about it. Among their graduated ninjas. Both in the written examination part and the actual combat part, Danzo's results are very good. If there is no 8-door evasion technique, Materbo feels that he might not be able to persist for 3 rounds in Danzo's hands. Especially his wind escape. No one of the same age can match it. And how big is the breeze? Only 7 years old. How long does it take to train? Only 1 day. Thinking of challenging the guy Tuanzang for just a day, it's a foolish dream. That's Danzo. Hefeng, although I don't know why you are so eager to challenge Danzo, you have only received 1 day of training and want to surpass Danzo's 10-year hard work. Matbo took a deep breath and persuaded Hefeng to dispel such unrealistic thoughts. He should receive training with his feet on the ground. You haven't seen me make a move again, how do you know that I must not be good? Hefeng said lightly. Meterbo, go to Tuanzang. Hearing this, he had to repeat what he said just now. But, Master Phagian, Mat Boban wanted to say something, but he was stunned back in the room, and had to swallow what he hadn't finished. Then, Jian issued a warning to Hefeng. When to challenge Danzo is your freedom, but once you lose, don't blame me for not reminding you, the consequences are very serious. Chapter 20 Give up and be gentle, I don't want to hurt you. Advertisement. When Materbo found Danzo, he was practicing with Sarutobi and others. Although Hefeng is only a 7-year-old child, Danzo still attaches great importance to fighting with him. After all, that's the monster who got used to the survival exercise in the wild in half an hour. Danzo. Metbo called Danzo, and then said the purpose of the trip. The result was the same as Matbo expected. Hearing that Hefeng was about to challenge Danzo now. The expressions of Sarutobi and others became unbelievable. Especially Danzo, his expression is as uncomfortable as eating 2 caddies of flies. This is only the past day. What does Zefeng compete with yourself? With his terrifying talent, if half a month passed, there might be a chance. Hefeng is now trying to catch up with his 10-year efforts in 1 day. This is simply idiotic about dreams. There is no suspense in this contest. Danzo said unceremoniously. Others are also general ideas. Including Materby, he couldn't figure it out until now. At only 7 years old, he wanted to challenge a strong man like Danzo, even the grandson of Lord Zujian is really outrageous. Metbo seemed to see the result. Hefeng is hit by Danzo to doubt his life. In any case, the age gap between Hefeng and Danzo is too big. The legs of the former are not as long as Danzo's arms. As long as Danzo held Hefeng's forehead with his hand, and the latter waved his hands and feet, it was impossible to touch Danzo's body. In addition, there are physical fitness and strength, which are even different. Sarutobi and others accompanied Danzo to the exercise field where Hefeng was. At this time, Jian is wrapping his hands around his chest, closing his eyes and resting his mind, while the wind is doing various warm-up exercises. Master Phagian. Danzo stood out from the team, and he glanced at the confident style, unable to understand who gave him the courage. Danzo originally thought that this was just unilateral unreasonable trouble with the wind, but who knows, Phagian's face is very serious. Danzo, are you ready? Are you ready? Is this really wanting to fight against the wind? But, Master Phagian, he is a gentleman. Advertisement. Danzo was interrupted just as he was about to speak, and he naturally guessed what the disciple was trying to say. Danzo, you only need to do one thing right now, that is, you are not allowed to be merciful in the competition, and beat Hefeng with all your strength. There is a vocal sound in the air. This sentence is not only for Danzo, but also for Hefeng. If he had his grandson who was the lord between the pillars, Danzo would not dare to think about himself. Then he was so wrong. People of the Thousand Hands clan should never have such embarrassing thoughts. Meterbo, you will be the referee of this competition. Turning his head to order to Metbo. Since it is a competition, it should look like a competition. And, Fei Jian's heart is somewhat worried and gentle. Although he didn't know his confidence and courage, Danzo was not as weak as he thought. Especially his wind escape is one of the best in Konoha village. Let Meterbo act as the referee, so that he can make a timely shot when the breeze is in danger. Stop Danzo. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. It is not difficult to see that in fact, in his heart, he is not optimistic about the wind. In fact, Sarutobi and others, as well as Madbo, all believe that Hefeng will undoubtedly be defeated. I see. Metbo nodded, and then walked to the center of the exercise field. Although he has never acted as a referee, he still met a referee when he took the Zongnan exam. He gestured, indicating Hefeng and Danzo to stand on his left and right, while keeping a distance of about 5 meters. Since I am a referee, let me explain the rules. The competition ends at the end of the trial. If I determine that one of the parties is in any danger, I will directly stop the competition. Is there any problem? When Meterbo said this, his gaze focused on Danzo. Both sides looked at each other, as if this sentence was not a rule of the game, but a unilateral reminder and warning to Danzo. There is nothing wrong. Hefeng responded lightly, and got ready. Hey. Dan Zhang shook his head helplessly, and the corners of his mouth floated up, and a wry smile appeared. He still couldn't understand the idea of Hefeng. Although self-confidence is a good thing, blind self-confidence is a very bad thing. Master Hefeng. Tuan Zhang put away a bitter smile, turned his face serious, and stared directly at Hefeng. You heard what Master Feijian said just now. Even if you have the identity of the grandson of the original Hokage-sama, I won't be merciful in this competition. As a ninja, this is the enlightenment we should have. Furthermore, you treat the competition as a game behavior, which I can neither understand nor accept. Advertisement. And so, Danzo paused for a while, and took a hard breath. If you want to quit, it's still too late. I don't want to hurt you. Although Madbo mentioned the end, Danzo was still worried that he would kick his ribs off with a kick. After all, the body gap lies here. Sarutobi, Mirror, Xiaochun, and Yan have already taken the wind, all staring at the two with all their attention. I was sweating for the breeze. Dan Zhang, this kid, is serious. I didn't expect Dan Zhang to be so serious, and he was even more disinterested in his heart. In this competition, he will definitely suffer. But there is no way, who made this come from the wind? Before that, he obviously gave him half a month's time. He doesn't cherish it. Treat the competition as a child's play. Take it as a lesson. Feijian even felt that it must be his own compliment, which made him feel like this, and now he uses Danzang's strength to make him recognize reality. It's not a bad thing. Seeing Danzang's high-ranking attitude and thinking that he was a dimensionality reduction strike, Hefeng just nodded slightly. Even so, I hope you can do what you say. Do your best, Danzo. There are no waves on the surface of the gentle breeze, but in the depths of my heart it is a completely different attitude. Brother Tuanzang, don't hesitate to do your best. Then you will find out, if you work hard to be useful, what do you need to do with a plugin? If there are no more questions, then I announce that the competition will begin. Accompanied by an order from Metbo. The duel between Hefeng and Danzo has officially begun. Sarutobi, Kagami, Kaharu, Yan, and Takufeng looked at Hefeng with a worried expression, praying in his heart that Danzo can keep his senses and release water when it is time to release it. Feijian and Madbo watched the two quietly, ready to stop the competition at any time. However, what everyone didn't expect was, at the beginning of the competition, Hefeng clenched his fists with both hands and performed a horse step movement. The first door, open the door, open. Chapter 21 Hefeng vs Danzo. Advertisement. Looking at the figure of Hefeng, his eyes widened suddenly and his face was shocked. Yes, he was shocked again. In addition to shock, I also felt a bit awkward. As the god of ninjutsu, he would never have missed the current state of Hefeng. There is no doubt that he is using the 8 doors Dunjia art. But, why? Why does Hefeng use the 8 doors Dunjia art? Various confusions formed in my mind. Mu Jian didn't know anything about the 8 doors of Dunjia art. Obviously, he couldn't have learned it in the 2 years when Hefeng left the village. And the 8 doors Dunjia art is not the same as the outbreak chakra. Outbreak chakra can also be explained by innate talent. The 8 doors of Dunjia art requires thorough training and learning. Even if you take 10,000 steps, you will be stunning in the gentle breeze, and you will create the 8 door repelling technique on your own. But how old is he? Only 7 years old. At the age of 7, he created the 8 door Dunjia that could be classified as a forbidden technique. Is it possible? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. But the current breeze has indeed opened the first door of the 8 doors Dunjia art. Open the door. That kind of momentum, that kind of state. I will never admit my mistakes. He swallowed nervously, and looked at the breeze in astonishment. Until this moment, he seemed to understand where Hefeng's confidence and courage came from. It's not the relationship between the grandson of the pillars. Not to mention the arrogance of having mastered the power of 1,000 hands at a young age. It is Hefeng's hand that also hides a whole card. This trump card is impressively the 8 door repelling technique. But, the corner of the mouth of the door took a breath of air. Just opening the door, I want to defeat Danzo, it's still a fantasy. When the door is open, only the brain limitation is lifted, in order to exert 100% of the whole body's ability, overload energy consumption, and increase strength and speed. Advertisement. However, the 7-year-old Zephyr has only 5 strength bases, and it is only 10 when the door is open, and Danzo, who is close to adulthood, has a physical base far exceeding 10. Fei Jian was shocked by Hefeng's performance, but after analysis, he still didn't think Hefeng Energy had much chance of winning. However, not only did he see this in the blink of an eye, but Hefeng also knew it. From the beginning, he didn't want to defeat Danzo by opening the door. The second door, close the door, open. There was another burst of breeze, opening the second limit. When the door is closed, the limitation of physical fatigue will be lifted, and the body energy will be overloaded to restore physical strength. The purpose is to offset the fatigue caused by energy consumption caused by opening the door. In this match with Danzo, Hefeng was temporarily banned, and it was the chakra outbreak that did not match his age. It is also a thousand hands strange power. I never said that Hefeng can't use this chakra to release ninjutsu. If he only relied on Hefeng's own chakra amount, he might not be able to hold the door open for 10 seconds. But as long as a part of the chakra between the pillars is extracted, the gentle breeze can adapt to the current state. This is Chatanra's inherent advantages. Then, the third door, the life door, open. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. The blue veins on the forehead, neck, and arms of the gentle breeze burst out, and the strength and speed are further improved. The skin turns from white to red, emitting green energy visible to the naked eye. It is worth mentioning that the life gate is the last safe zone of the 8 doors Dunjia art. It is to tap the full potential of the body without causing damage. In any case, the rewards Hefeng draws from the punch card package are the skills and the muscle memory of using these skills. For example, now, Hefeng has not only obtained the 8 doors of Dunjia art, but also abandoning the tedious learning process, and has directly mastered the application of the 8 doors of Dunjia art. However, the physical strength of the wind still stays at the age of 7. This is also the reason why Hefeng still chooses to conduct basic training with Materbo after getting the Baman Dunjia. His current physical strength is not enough to adapt to the continuous fighting in the Duman state. But, Hefeng looked at Danzo, who was about to be stupid, and bent his knees slightly. When he caught Danzo's flaw, he opened the door to increase his power, and then quickly left the state of the door. My current body should be able to withstand this tactic. At the same time, it also means that there is only one chance. Hefeng's mind is naturally not really 7 years old, he is a traverser, or a traverser who has seen Naruto. But for any character with a name and a surname, what kind of ninjutsu he is good at, and what kind of trump card he has. Hefeng has been known from the beginning. Ninja contest is intelligence contest. He not only mastered all the information of Danzo, but also knew his future. Advertisement. Watching the middle of the breeze from the side, at this moment, I only feel that my brain is blank and my ears are buzzing. He was shocked again. Hefeng even directly opened the 8 doors of Dunjia art to the third door. This is ridiculously excessive. What does he think of opening the body restriction? Drink water. How could there be such a monster in this world? Did this kid have a plug-in? After racking my brains, I couldn't understand how Hefeng learned the 8 doors of Dunjia art. No matter how much he is a genius, he just glanced at the process of opening the door by Medbo. He couldn't figure out the way to open the door on his own, right? He is only 7 years old. It is no exaggeration to say that I felt a little numb by the shock of the gentle wind. Fei, Lord Feijian. There was cold sweat on Madbo's forehead, and he couldn't help but leaned over to Feijian. He needs an explanation now. Master Feijian, you haven't told me about Master Hefeng's 8-door repelling technique. Once the 4th door is opened, it will cause damage to the body. It would be a little messy to let Hefeng learn the 8 doors of Dunjia art at this age. According to Medbo's knowledge, the best age to be exposed to the 8 doors of Dunjia art should be around 15 years old. At that time, the body was almost developed, plus basic training, enough to make the body's strength adapt to the injury in the 8-door state. However, what Madbo doesn't know is, Fei Jian is now even more ignorant than him. Why are you telling me this? Do you think it is my church who teaches the art of harmony 8 doors Dunjia? I am also very confused. The ghost knows how Hefeng learns the 8 doors of Dunjia art. But, before he waited to answer himself, Madbo suddenly changed the subject. Every time a restriction is opened, the difficulty is several times higher than the previous one. It took me a year and a half just from opening the door to practicing and closing the door. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I couldn't believe that there would be such a genius as Master Hefeng in the ninja world. It's worthy of being the grandson of Master Zujian. Chapter 22 Me, The Wind, The Play Group Zhang. Advertisement. Uchiha Mirror immediately opened the writing wheel to observe the changes in the chakra of the wind. When Hefeng entered the 8-door Dunjia state, the whole popularity changed drastically, and even the mirror standing outside the court felt the pressure. You said, who will win? Xiaochun looked at Hefeng blankly and couldn't help asking. Although Hefeng is courageous and confident, she knows Danzo better. Danzo is very good in both physical exercises and ninjutsu. The gentleman's thousand hands weird power was once again forbidden by Master Shuima. In Hefeng, she couldn't see any possibility of defeating Danzo. But now, she doesn't think so. The breeze that opened the 8 gates of Dunjia is no different than before. However, Xiaochun didn't believe that Hefeng had mastered the 8 Doors Dunjia art in just one day. Even if Hefeng's talent is exaggerated like a monster, it would be outrageous to learn the 8 Doors of Dunjia art in just one day. It is very likely that Hefeng has been secretly learning the 8 Doors of Dunjia art from the very beginning. It's Danzo. Yanji whispered his opinion, but he didn't even notice it. His answer was no longer as certain as before. I have to say that Hefeng's performance has exceeded everyone's expectations. The winner will be Danzo. Only Sarutobi firmly supports Tuanzang. It is really unexpected that Master Hefeng can open 8-door Dunjia, but 8-door Dunjia is not an ordinary technique. Sarutobi expressed his opinion to other people. The 8 Doors Dunjia technique not only requires extremely high talent, but also requires very high physical fitness for support. Otherwise, the damage to the muscles, meridians and collaterals will be very huge. Although Sarutobi had never practiced the 8 Doors Dunjia art, he knew it very well. The prerequisite for using the 8 Doors Dunjia art requires long-term training that is super routine, overloaded, and beyond the limit. Only in this way can the various parts and organs of the body be exercised to reduce the damage that occurs after opening the 8 doors. But it's just lowering. Forced to turn it on, from the sequelae that accompany a lifetime, to the worst, you may never be a ninja anymore. I have to admit that the 7-year-old young Master Hefeng is indeed the only genius in the field of physical skills. But in order to defeat Danzo and push yourself into such a dangerous situation, such an approach is really unwise. No, this is a mess at all. He can't insist on defeating Danzo, he will fall because of muscle damage. Sarutobi Hitoshi's endless analysis. Although he was once again shocked by Hefeng's talent, he still didn't think Hefeng could defeat Danzo. After all, he is not like Materby, who has cultivated his physique to a rather exaggerated level through non-human training methods. The physique of the gentle breeze is not enough to withstand the power you have now. Advertisement. In fact, it wasn't just Sarutobi who saw this. Hefeng also knows this kind of thing, how much damage the 8 Doors Dunjia art will bring to the user. He knows better than anyone here. Because of this, the gentle breeze did not enter the wounded door, Duman. He knows his physique very well. So Hefeng has only opened 3 doors now. This is the last safe zone of Baman Dunjia. It will only expend energy exponentially for the user, but it is not enough to cause damage to muscles and meridians. As for the energy that has been evaporated, as long as the wind is filled with the chakra between the pillars, the 3 gates can be maintained. But, this still won't last long. Must fight quickly. I'm on it, Danzo. With a sudden burst of breeze, the slightly bent knees suddenly straightened, exerting their explosive power to the extreme. Danzo's eyes widened and he didn't dare to blink, and his cognition was completely shattered by the gentle performance. Learned the 8 doors of Dunjia art at the age of 7. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Hasn't he not had any training? How does his physique do it? Do not. How could someone learn the 8 techniques of evasion at the age of 7? This is too exaggerated, too outrageous. But there is no doubt that Hefeng did indeed do it. Call. Danzo took a deep breath, the movements on his hands were clean and neat, he took out the kunai from the ninja bag, and threw it directly at Hefeng, then made a seal with both hands, ready to release Feng Dun. Danzo's tactics are very simple. He knew that the 8 doors Dunjia art would rapidly consume the energy of the human body. The breeze should not last long. As long as the breeze is pushed back, he is not given a chance to get close. When his body reaches its limit, it will release the 8 doors of Dunjia art on its own. At that time, the victory or defeat is just a matter of oneself. However, what made Danzo never dream of was, he obviously didn't blink his eyes, and firmly locked Hefeng in his sight. But it was the next second. Advertisement. The breeze disappeared. Correct. He just disappeared. What about people? Danzo suddenly felt his scalp numb, and his breathing was subconsciously held. This situation of losing his goal meant that he could not even defend. A cold sweat broke out on Tuan Zhang's forehead, and the oppressive feeling caused by the gentle breeze was like a mountain falling from the sky. Even he didn't even notice that his hands and legs were shaking slightly. I am here. The sound of the wind came from behind Tuan hiding. For the ninja, once the back is exposed to the enemy, it means giving your life to someone else. It is life or death, completely controlled by the other party. An unprecedented sense of fear spontaneously grew in Danzo's heart. He opened his mouth and shouted hysterically, I won't lose to you. But when Tuan Zhang turned around and waved his fist, he suddenly realized that Hefeng was not behind him at all. To be precise, it was the moment Tuan Zhang turned around, and the wind used a faster speed than him, and went around behind him. That established the route. The Uchiha clan was defeated by soldiers. When Pen invades Konoha, save your strength and use Pen to eradicate the alien Danzo. Now being played round and round by the breeze. Danzo, your speed is too slow. The sound of the gentle breeze rang in Tuan Zhang's ears again. But this time, Hefeng was not playing around. When the voice fell, Hefeng's 5 fingers grabbed his fist and hit Tuan Zhang's abdomen directly. After all, Danzo, who is waving his fist, has flaws all over his body. Bang! With a muffled noise, Tuan Zhang's feet left the ground involuntarily, his back bent, and the intense pain spread from his abdomen, causing Dan Zhang to vomit out all the things he had eaten in the morning. The continuous attacks of the wind have just begun. After hitting a straight punch, Hefeng pressed his hands to the ground to support his body's center of gravity, and his right leg slammed out, chasing Tuan Zhang's belly. Then, Hefeng's elbows bend vigorously, bursting out with strong force, pushing himself off the ground. Left leg, right leg, continuously kicking and chasing Danzo, kick him higher and higher. Chapter 23 Thoughts began to divert. Advertisement. Hefeng even has such details of the battle. I stared blankly at the battle between Hefeng and Danzo. In his opinion, the moment Hefeng moved to the back of Tuan's hiding at high speed, he could attack. But he didn't do that. Instead, he deliberately informed Danzo of his position and made him wave his fist in a panic. Once Danzo takes a shot, there will be no time to defend. In the end, there were flaws all over the body, and he was seized by the opportunity. The current Danzo has lost the opportunity to defend. He never expected that Hefeng's fighting talent was so powerful. But the truth of the matter is that Hefeng is just trying to play Danzo to let him know. Danzo, is too slow. Unknowingly, he made up for it by himself. This is Hefeng's tactical strategy without giving Danzo any chance. Yes, it is. At this moment, the thoughts in the door are transformed. Hefeng regards Danzo's body as his own pedal, and after a set of chic and continuous kicks, his legs are brought together and stepped hard. Bang! With the help of reaction force, Hefeng rushed back to the ground, and Danzo was kicked into a higher altitude by him. Unprecedented pain sensation all over Tuan Zhang's body, but made his brain abnormally awake. He seemed to see everyone's positions and reactions. He can even clearly see the gentle wind rushing to the ground, and stand steady with his heels, causing the ground under his feet to produce spider web-like cracks. Although Danzo could see all this, his body could not do anything. His fingers, arms, and legs don't seem to belong to him. Move, move. Dan Zhang gritted his teeth, roaring these words toward every organ and every part of his body. On the other hand, Hefeng relied on the explosive power of Shungman to easily catch up with Danzo. Hefeng 5 fingers grabbed his fist and aimed at Danzo's chest. This punch will be his last attack. Below, Madbo's heart was terrified. Unexpectedly, Master Hefeng, physical skills are so powerful. He was taken aback by his gentle performance, no matter whether it was the action or the timing, it was impeccable. Master Feijian, Master Hefeng, have you really never learned physical skills? Madbo couldn't help but complain. In his concept, he has always believed that no matter how talented a person is, no matter how talented or talented he is, if he does not have hardworking training, still can't be a good ninja. Not to mention, there are no shortcuts in physical exercises, and you must rely on hard work and sweat to improve. However, the existence of Hefeng hit Madbo in the face severely. Let him have to recognize reality. Unreasonable monster-like genius. Not only exists, but also in front of oneself. Advertisement. However, Master Hefeng will lose. Madbo swallowed nervously and expressed his thoughts. It is true that opening a life at the age of 7 is enough to be called the unique genius in the ninja world. His physique and tactics are also perfect and impeccable. Even if the roles are reversed, Madab doesn't think that he or the master can perform better. But, at the age of 7, he has become the biggest shortcoming and the biggest drawback of the Japanese style. Even if you increase your strength and speed through the burst of life, you can't change the fact that the base value of the wind is too low. As long as Danzo withstands the next blow of the wind that reaches the limit of the body will become fish. Danzo is the sword. If the wind opens the Duman, Danzo will undoubtedly lose. Between the hands and chest, he couldn't help but speak. According to his calculations, Hefeng's full punch will never let Tuan Zhang survive. But after all, the power is a little worse. With his understanding of Danzo, his body is strong enough to withstand this punch. Then, offensive and defensive change. The loser will be a gentle breeze, just as Metber analyzed. But, even so, the surprise brought by the gentle breeze is unparalleled. Unexpectedly, when he was only 7 years old, he had mastered 3 of the 8 techniques of Dunjia. Read more at hotmtl novel.zi. There is also this body technique. There is also this fighting talent. It's amazing. Hefeng, you don't need to rush for a while now, you are only 7 years old and there is still a lot of time to grow up. You in the future will surely lead Konoha to its heyday. Feijian murmured in his heart, and his eyes glowed with scorching light. Master Feijian. The face of Medbo on the side became difficult to look. Master Hefeng is the only genius who opened the door to students in this grade. Duman is the 5th door of the 8 doors of Dunjia art. If opened at this age, it would be more terrifying than monsters. A monster who opened Duman at the age of 7. Such an unbelievable thing. Madbo felt terrible just thinking about it. Do not. This is simply impossible. Don't talk about Duman. It was the door in front of Duman, hurting the door. It all means entering the danger zone of the 8-door Dunjia, and the damage to the body is not a joke. With a gentle 7-year-old physique, I can't bear it at all. The pain of tearing the muscles alone was enough to make him faint on the spot. However, with the terrifying talent of young Master Hefeng, I should conclude that he will be able to open Duman in 5 years at most. In fact, it's not just Madbo who is so sure in his heart. Advertisement. At the same time, Sarutobi, Uchiha Kami and others all have the same idea. Especially Danzo. Unable to move, he clenched his teeth and kept admonishing himself that the current breeze was almost at its limit. His next punch is likely to be the final blow. As long as you support yourself, it is the time to fight back. The person who wins this competition will be himself. However, what they didn't know was, from the very beginning, Hefeng had never thought that only with the 8 doors of Dunjia art, he could defeat Danzo who possessed the strength of Zongnan. The real desperate attack is actually a full-fledged explosion in the state of injury. The fourth door, hurt the door, open. Accompanied by a burst of warm breeze, everyone present took a breath. Between the door, Metbo, Sarutobi and others. Danzo's heart. Just kidding. The 7-year-old Zephyr could open the door to injury. Bang. Suddenly, he heard a muffled sound in Hefeng's ears. This sound did not come from the outside world, but was conducted through the bones of the body. When he opened the fourth door and injured the door, the muscle of his right arm broke directly. Even Hefeng himself did not expect that the injury to the body caused by the wounds would be so exaggerated. Even covering the whole body with interpillar chakras and buffering them will not help. Worst of all, the break of the right arm muscle prevented Hefeng from making this punch. For a time, Hefeng and Danzo were stagnant in the air, and the scene was extremely embarrassing. Could it be? However, just when Hefeng thought that everything was going to rest, he suddenly discovered that his broken muscles had healed quickly. It seems, the damage caused by the wound door has never happened before. Hefeng suddenly widened his eyes, and his heart was extremely shocked. He knew what this ability was, but he didn't expect that he would inherit it. This is the Mujima healing in the Senjutsu. Hefeng never dreamed that the damage caused by the 8 doors Dunjia art would be resolved by the bloodline he was born with. Wait a minute, if I can heal the damage caused by the 8 doors Dunjia art. Hefeng suddenly brightened his eyes, the 5th door, Duman, open. Between the door, Metbo, Danzo. Danzo. Chapter 24 Danzo. You don't really want to kill me, right? Advertisement. I never dreamed that Hefeng could open the 5th door in the body. The picture in front of him was shocked. No matter how genius, there must be a limit. It's too ridiculous to open Duman at the age of 7. Oops. But besides the shock, another fact is also in front of him. The punch from Duman is more powerful than Shungman by many times. In addition, the Japanese style aimed at Danzo's left chest. With this punch, Danzo is afraid that it is not dead or injured. Thinking of this, I finally couldn't bear it and chose to shoot. Instantaneous surgery. Soon, the door disappeared in the same place, leaving only a vague afterimage. The body flashed above the wind, with the palm of his right hand pressed toward the back of the wind. When the hand of Feijian touched Hefeng's body, he performed a famed stunt. The art of flying thunder god. Feijian and Hefeng disappeared in front of Danzo. But the sense of fear and oppression caused by the wind made him feel that this was not a test at all, but an endless battle. At the moment when the gentle breeze opened Duman and waved his fist, a big Chinese character appeared in Dan Zhang's mind. Dead. On the other side, a gentle breeze flashed to the ground. But the gentle breeze in Duman's state couldn't hold back the fist that was thrown out. Forcibly unloading force, it is very likely that his arm will be broken. So Hefeng's punch hit the ground fiercely. Rumble. Accompanied by a deafening roar, a strong air current surged in all directions. Great earthquakes. The ground under the wind fist was cracked, like a spider web, spreading to the entire exercise field. Xiaochun and Yan didn't expect to be like this at all, their brains were lost for a while, their balance was broken by the shock, and they paralyzed on the ground with a plop. Sarutobi and Mirror, although taking the wind quickly gained a foothold, there were already earth-shaking changes deep in their hearts. Their eyes were full of shock, and their expressions gradually became dull. The body became stiff, as if rooting under one's feet, motionless. It wasn't until the entire exercise site was so quiet that everyone could hear his own heartbeat, that Danzo plopped and fell to the ground. He was frightened by the gentle momentum. As for the victory or defeat, it is clear at a glance. Danzo, a fiasco. Before this, no one had expected such a result. Advertisement. In the face of Hefeng, a 7-year-old child, Danzo had no chance to fight back. This scene is simply too illusory, breaking everyone's perception of peace. Everyone, including the door, took a breath. Gentle. It's terrifying. In the end, it was Matbo who broke the silence. Tuan, Danzo, lost. As the referee, he announced the result of the competition. No one dared to question, including Danzo himself. The power gap between him and Hefeng, I am afraid no one knows better than him. I didn't expect Hefeng to open the Duman at this age. Matbo said in a daze. I also said that within 5 years, he will be able to open the door according to my training method. I really underestimated the talent of Master Hefeng. Soon, Madab realized a terrible fact. As a referee, you not only have to supervise the outcome of this competition, but you also need to stop the competition when the player's life is in danger. This is Master Feijian, who deliberately explained his own affairs. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. Don't talk about stopping the wind. In the situation just now, I only feel that my brain is blank. The terrifying talent possessed by Hefeng was completely shocked. Do not. Metbo shook his head, denying that he hadn't made the shot in time because of shock. Under normal circumstances, I have no time to stop Master Hefeng. Matbo couldn't help but smile bitterly. If he wanted to catch up with the speed in the Hefeng Duman state, he had to open the 8-door Dunjia. But at that juncture, how can there be time for oneself to open the 8-door Dunjia? I'm afraid that the only one who can save Danzo is the Flying Thunder God's art of Master Feijian. Danzo is Zongren anyway, and in the past 10 years, he has not slackened himself for a moment. Not far away, Sarufe stared at Danzo lying on the ground blankly. But even so, he is still no match for young Master Hefeng. Sarutobi was filled with emotion. In his mind, Danzo is definitely a very good ninja. He even imagined that if one day he became a third-generation Hokage, he would have to entrust Danzo with the important task. Let him help with the important affairs of the village. But who knows, is such an excellent man recognized by himself? In front of the breeze. Vulnerable. If you don't see it with your own eyes, who can believe it? And the mirror, which had been watching the battle with the riding wheel eyes, then spoke, and said his own thoughts. Advertisement. Physique is different from ninjutsu and illusion. As long as you get information in advance, you can have a way to deal with it. Physique is a real power confrontation. Even if the eyes see it, and the body's movements can't keep up, then there is no possibility of winning. This is a crush on strength. When Uchiha Kami said these words, there were mixed feelings in his heart. Especially when he mentioned eyes, he seemed to be talking to himself. Perhaps when Hefeng fought against Danzo, he simulated it in his mind. The Senju clan and Uchiha clan have always been enemies. Even if Zuma shook hands with Madara and made peace, together they established Shinobu Village. The two big families are still competing with each other. Especially the one who opened the riding wheel, he was regarded by the tribe as a genius of Uchiha. It is not an exaggeration to say that he opened his eyes earlier than Uchiha Madara. It should be sooner or later to surpass him. Among his peers, there is no one from the Chinsho family who can compare with him. This makes the mirror always have a sense of superiority. However, Hefeng's performance is tantamount to giving him a blow. Completely shattered his inherent superiority. Talents like Hefeng are geniuses. Strong genius like a monster. 7 years old. He had such a terrifying strength when he was only 7 years old. If Hefeng is given some more time to grow, what realm will he grow to in the future? Senjujuma, Uchiha Madara. It seems that it can't be compared with the wind. Is the gap between Uchiha and Senju really that big? I can't see any hope, I can't breathe. For the first time, Uchiha Mirror, who has always been regarded as a genius, felt suspicious of life. Of course, among all the people present, there is a guy who doubts life more than him. That is Danzo. He is lying on the ground now, motionless. Danzo felt that there was no moisture in his throat, and his hair was dry and itchy. Not only did I lose to Hefeng, but I was frightened. However, the young gentleman who was just now. It seems that I really want to punch myself to death. Chapter 25. No one really thinks Bamindunjia is difficult, right? Advertisement. Seeing Hefeng hit the ground with a punch, the first reaction in the room was to take him to the hospital for treatment. As the developer of the 8 Doors Dunjia art, I really know this technique too much. Everyone has the 8 doors to inhibit chakra, but not everyone can open the inhibitions in the body. The reason why Madbo can use 8 doors is because he has exercised various parts and organs of the body quite powerfully through training that surpasses the limits of human beings. But even so, Madbo could not erase the damage caused by the 8 Doors Dunjia art. At best, the damage to the body will be reduced. But a 7-year-old Zephyr, how could he have such an exaggerated physique as Medbo? The Duman just now, it is very likely that he has torn the muscles and meridians of the gentle wind. Even the organs have been shocked. Fei Jian is delighted with Hefeng's terrifying talent, but it is also true that he is worried about Hefeng's physical condition. In any case, Hefeng is his precious grandson. He would rather have no talents of any kind than see him hurt. At this moment, I felt somewhat self-blame in my heart. I feel that I am not a qualified grandpa. Only then will Hefeng's body be damaged. However, just when I was very worried about this grandson, Hefeng closed Duman calmly and straightened up from the half-bending motion. When the Duman was opened, the muscles and meridians of the wind were all damaged because they could not withstand this force. The pain almost made him faint. But with the closure of the Duman, Muji's ability to heal was manifested. 2 or 3 can't breathe, and the breezy muscles, meridians, all heal on their own. As if never hurt, the pain began to decrease until it disappeared. Hefeng was shocked. Although the 8 Doors Dunjia art is a strong physical skill, it is a double-edged sword. Hurt others and hurt yourself. Before fighting against Danzo, Hefeng deliberately did psychological construction and tactical design. But he never expected that his body would be so abnormal. You know, although the breeze has drawn the chakra between the pillars, the chakra is a chakra. Muji cure is Muji cure. It's not the same thing in itself. Surprised, Hefeng immediately checked the panel. Host. Hefeng. Open black lens bracket power. 4 close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Open black lens bracket speed. 3 close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket physical strength. 6 close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket abilities. Chakra between pillars LV1, 8 Doors Dunjia art LV5. Close black lens bracket. There is really no Muji cure above. This means that Muji healing is the innate ability of this body. He inherited the lineage of Senjujuma. No, maybe there is a relationship with the Whirlpool bloodline. The gentle breeze couldn't bear this excitement. His body is only 7 years old, no matter how much he cultivates, he can't catch up with Materby in a short time. His original plan was to get other good things from the punch card package. He immediately abandoned the use of the 8 Doors Dunjia art. Because the damage to the body is too great. But now. Is this giving up a hammer? Just use it a few more times to adapt to the pain of muscle tears. Isn't he invincible? Anyway, no matter how the injury is caused, he can heal on its own, or within 2 or 3 breaths. Read more at hotmtlnovel.zi. This is simply a physical skill tailor-made for him. It's not just that, even if you can't catch up with Medbay in a short time, you just need to keep exercising. It can strengthen the physique and further reduce the damage caused by the 8 doors Dunjia. Once the speed of injury can't keep up with the healing speed of Muji, I can use the 8 doors Dunjia art at will. The breeze suddenly shined in his eyes. Although this is just a theory, there is nothing infeasible. In the original work, Tsunade's wound healed in less than 2 seconds after being stabbed by the spotted Susanna. The technique of Baihao is nothing but a copy of Muji's cure. Even if the damage caused by Hachiman Dunjia is more exaggerated than Madara's Suzuo. If not, why is my own theory not feasible? Wait, are you okay? Feijian stared at the lively gentle breeze with a strange expression on his face. What about muscle tears? What about the broken meridian? What about the damage caused by the good Baman Dunjia? Why does this kid seem to have nothing? Where is the problem? Me. Hefeng glanced back and glanced at the doorway standing on the spot, and suddenly realized, oh, Master Feijian is referring to the damage caused by the 8-door Dunjia, right? Advertisement. I didn't expect it would hurt so much. Hefeng moved his arms and added lightly, but it's all right now. In the middle, what does it mean to be okay now? Do you think you are the eldest brother Zujian? No matter how serious the injury is, it can heal itself. And many more. Jian seemed to understand something. He stepped forward quickly, grabbed Hefeng's arm and carefully checked it. Although this sounds incredible, there is really nothing wrong with Hefeng. You inherited the eldest brother's Muji cure. In the interim, I was shocked again. He himself couldn't remember how many surprises and shocks did the gentle breeze bring to him in just 2 days. Anyway, the shock is over. In addition to the horror talent, Hefeng also inherited the horror bloodline of his big brother. He swallowed nervously, and looked at the tender facial features condescendingly, his eyes staring like bull's eyes. Apart from the 1000-hand weird power, you can even use the 8-door Dunjia physique. Good fellow, I was almost fooled by you. How many things are you hiding? Who taught you this? Up to now, I can't believe the nonsense of Hefeng. What did not have any training? No one has taught himself. Ghosts believe, maybe it was the guy from the elder brother, taking advantage of not paying attention, secretly ran out of the village with Mu Dun clone, then found Hefeng, and taught him these things secretly. It must be so. Master Feijian, what did you just say? It's not just Baman Dunjia, Master Hefeng has even 1,000 hands. Medbo could not keep calm on the side. In his opinion, the 1,000-hand monster power alone is already quite a terrifying physical skill. Without enough talent, and years of cultivation, you can't master it at all. However, Hefeng has learned the 1,000 hands monster power and the 8-door Dunjia together. What a horror is this? Are all the 1,000 hands clan monsters? The gentle breeze among them is still the monster among these monsters. However, Hefeng had already guessed that he might ask this question. I just took a look at how Uncle Madbo opened the 8-door Dunjia and learned it. No one really thinks Baman Dunjia is difficult, right? Hefeng said innocently.